Hello?
So I don't know what's going on. Sorry. There we go. Hello, everyone. Pop culture creator here, hoping everybody's doing well. Hope you're doing fine. Hope you and your family are free from any sort of illness or financial hardships. One can always hope, right? And I
Yeah,
know
speaking of which, I won't say any details, but I would like some prayers or positive thoughts for Clobby from Clobber Times. He's having some problems.
I'm
Oh,
sorry to
God.
hear that.
Sorry to
And
hear that.
yeah, tell him that he has all of our best wishes if you get a chance.
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Too bad. I don't like to see anybody down and out. Um, I'd like to thank my fellow YouTuber and co-host Gorilla's Random Thoughts. How are you doing tonight?
Uh, yeah, it's been a long day, you know. So trying to focus on your work in the dark puts a strain on your eyes. But hey, I'll be getting new eyeballs here soon. So I got my appointment on Wednesday.
Glasses or contacts?
Absolutely.
Oh, I can't afford. I'll go up bare basics because I can't afford nothing. I'm even get the frames alone are only going to be $28.
Well, hopefully they'll last
Nice.
you for a while.
Yeah.
Wow, $28. That's really cheap. Wow.
Oh, it's Walmart there because my eye doctor apparently decided he was gonna for some reason he wants to retire and go spend a few years down in the Caribbean and
Oh,
no,
gee.
it should be servicing us for the rest of his life. No, I'm just kidding. But anyhow, he gave me a list of other eye doctors in the area. First one I called. Well, we could get you in at the beginning of August there. I'll call you back.
Wow.
I called the next one. Goes, well, this doctor here, he might be able to get you in at the end of August. I'll, I'll call you back. I called the third one on the list. They go, well, we could get you in about November or December. I didn't even bother giving them a call back.
Wow.
I just
Wow.
hung up on them. But finally, I just called Walmart and they said, no, we can get, you want afternoons, Wednesday or Thursday work. Wednesday it is.
No, that's good.
Fair
Schedule.
enough.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems like all the good doctors are retiring. My kid's pediatrician just retired.
Well,
I
the
don't
problem is
blame
I'm in
them.
a small town. The problem is I'm in a small town, so we're limited on our resources.
Yeah, that's one downfall of living in a small area. But
Yeah, definitely.
I'm glad to see you getting that straightened around. And hopefully they'll be durable and last you for a long time without breaking.
Yeah, hopefully they have warranty because I know they're not gonna last.
It'll be a warranty, but it'll be like 30 days or something like that.
Oh, my last glasses had 2 year warranty on the frames.
Okay, very cool. And I wanted to also say, of course, hello, Pleasant Valley Pickers, yay, PvP, how are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. I'm compacting my work week into 3 days this week instead of four, so working a little longer shifts every day since I'm going to do it by Wednesday and finish it because I want to have that day off Thursday to get ready for my holiday. Going to see the concert
Oh,
on
sounds like a
Friday.
plan.
Yeah, well, I like to have a day cushion, because I still got to maybe buy a couple of clothing items, and I was looking at travel on little duffel bags to take on the plane yesterday, and they're not cheap. I found
No,
one
they're
though that
not.
looks, yeah, one I found though for $35. I didn't buy it yet, but it looks like a decent little bag because you got to have a small bag to carry on because the airlines really limit that these days it seems. So yeah, I should have got some glasses. I was just thinking like a week ago. It's like, darn, I should have got some new glasses for the concert. Even though my old ones, I'm sure it'll be good enough and everything. But I should have got a new pair because I haven't had my eyes tested in years when I thought about it. And even though my old glasses still seem to work okay, it's like I really need to do that. But man, the wait times, like Gorilla said, I thought, well, there's no way I'm going to get them done before the concert now because it's probably going to take at least a month to get an eye exam appointment. So, anywho,
Unless
that's
you go to
about it, I
something
guess.
big like Walmart. You go to
We
something
do
big
have a
like
Walmart, yeah,
get
yeah, we
into
do have the
there.
Walmart. But I doubt they could get it. I doubt they could do an eye exam and get the prescription ready by Thursday. So I've kind of given up on the plan at this point.
Okay.
I'll do it later. I can do it next month or something.
And my good friend, Antiderivative Jill, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing really great. Myself, I'm a little worried for a friend. I'm hoping to hear some good news or something on that front soon. And aside from that, I'm still gonna go ahead and have my final. I'm gonna keep going. Doing okay.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and like I said, I wish the best for you. I hope everything works out. I mean,
Me too.
any friend of mine, um, even if I don't know them or I'm not a friend, I still feel for you. So
Appreciate that. Thank you.
anytime at all, gotta have
Yeah,
compassion in the
yeah,
world. What else is left, right?
yeah. Hopefully it's nothing
Exactly.
serious. Hopefully nothing too serious, Jill. Because I remember when Clobby did the original Star Trek series rundown of all 79 episodes. I guess it's like a couple over a week ago, week and a half, 2 weeks now.
Yeah, that was amazing. Wasn't that good?
That
That
was
was so
fun.
good.
Yeah, I had a great time going on there and rating the episodes with everybody in the chat. Like, yeah, that was a really good stream. So, yeah, hopefully, Clobby will be okay and be able to continue, with his
Me
channel
too.
and everything. Yeah,
Yep, exactly.
Yes. Thank you guys.
you're welcome.
Anytime at all. And I wanted to say, I know I've been missing a few streams here and there, and I want to apologize for that, everybody. I'm going to do my best to try to make up for them. I think we may have missed last week's, didn't we? I think. And I feel bad for that. Like the Space Vikings that we're showing tonight, I think that was originally set for last week.
Didn't we do another one last week? The one we were going to do 3 weeks before that.
Also,
The
see, that's just it. I'm getting so far behind, I'm losing track. And I do apologize. That proves it right there.
Oh, it was
So I
the one with the
definitely
sea,
need to.
the mutiny one, the one with the sea captain that kidnapped
The
Will
Space
and Doctor
Mutiny.
Smith. Yeah,
Okay,
yep, yeah.
whoa,
Oh,
kid.
okay. Yes, that is the
No,
one.
that's a theme. That's a theme. The aliens are just making lots of noise now. That last week and this week.
True,
Yeah,
true. Yes.
that is true.
So, and we have, okay, and I wanted to say next, obviously, hello to the wonderful, amazing, and fantastic chat. We've got a lot of uh, excellent people out there, and I want to make sure to say hello to each and every one of them. Gorilla, do you think you can help me with the chat tonight? I would appreciate that.
Oh, you're asking an awful lot of me, but I suppose I can.
That's why I
Here
love
we
you,
got.
buddy.
All right, so apparently LDG is slapping us with around the globe or something, or he's waving us around the globe, or That's what the emoji means. Well, the two.
Good to see you, LDG. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it is a wave, not a slap.
I don't know. I could go to the underground and have them change it to a slap. And Edge of Time says, "Greeting from the Edge of Time, where he has confirmed we're gonna go out with the big old freeze." And welcome to the OG Euler Greg. He says, "Hello, everyone." And
Hello.
here's
Hello.
here's our favorite Christian conservative disabled veteran there, Mr. CCDV. He goes, "What's up, ball? My cat's on my lap, so texting is slow." Well, get
Hello.
says the cat on the lap there.
No,
Yeah,
you can't do that. You're not allowed.
Yeah, we got someone
Cat.
named Jill saying hello. Sorry, Mr. CCDV says, "I don't blame the eye doctor, honestly." Well, I was just mad about how how far out the appointments are gonna go.
Yeah, it's too bad that they only last a few minutes. So you wait all that whole time just to get in there, and you're out like in 5 minutes.
Well, I got the eye exam. I'll be in there for like half an hour at least. I have to be there 15 minutes there early to do all the new paperwork and stuff.
Yeah, they take forever here. Like the last one I had, I think I was over an hour by the time I got out of there.
Oh, this guy.
Crazy.
But I'm talking about just the eye exam, the actual physical exam itself.
Yeah, it was over an hour for me.
Oh, my took half an hour because it's A better or B better? A better or B better? A or B? A or B? Oh, this gets so annoying.
Yeah,
it's even worse when they merge them. Like, how about if you do this?
Yeah. I wish they could just like scan your eye and go, "Yep, here's your prescription."
That'd be nice, yeah. Yeah, my guy must have been like, I don't know, really an uptight guy because he was so thorough, it was ridiculous. That's why it took so long because he kept doing stuff over and over and over. It's like, come on, guy.
Well, would you rather have him be thorough or slacking?
Oh, no, he was good, but I never had an eye exam that lasted quite that long. Usually it's like half an hour, right? So,
well, I'd rather them be thorough than to sit there try to rush as many people in as they can. Then it's like they screw up your prescription.
No, it was good. I have no complaints there. It was just very long exam, like unusually long.
All right, and welcome to Sci-Fi Sit Down. He said hello there, the pop culture curator, and hello to all of the
Sci-Fi Sit Down. Good to see you.
Hi, Dan.
And it seems that the small-time doctors equal expensive. Mine sure pays for it all, paying for most of it. I got $10 copay, so for just the exam. Then I got to figure out what my copay is on my frames and my lenses, and I'm not gonna get all the extra. I'm not gonna get the transition this year because I can't afford it. And LDG is waving. It looks like.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, nobody wants to transition into poverty.
Yeah, and Mr. CCV says, "What's up, pickles?" And Mr. CCV says, "You have no need to apologize, brother." Yeah, we all understand here. And it's called "Oh Hello World." He goes, "Oh my god, hello world! It's LDG hashtag for the net. Kapla." And Mr. CCDV says, "Slap is funny," and I don't know which is better. Dang it! It's welcome to Spooky Bed here. Welcome. He says,
"Hello
danger, Will Robinson."
Welcome to Spooky Bed here. I hope you enjoy yourself today. If you like, consider subscribing to the channel. But thank you for joining us. Sorry, I didn't mean to kill that conversation.
No, you're totally fine. That's all the chats.
That's all chats, all right.
Oh, except we just got a couple more in here.
Sounds good.
And welcome Taylor Swift, creator of the Disney, Star Wars, and MCU and Doctor Who. Welcome. He's giving us the turquoise waving hands. And Spooky Bed here is slapping a ghost. It looks like, or waving at a ghost.
Oh,
All
boy.
right, that's all the chats.
Thank you, Gorilla, my good friend. I appreciate you helping me out on that.
And
Seriously.
not problem.
Okay, so tonight we are leaving. We are beginning where we left off last week. So if you guys remember, I have the book here, Urban Islands Lost in Space, the authorized biography of a classic sci-fi series, Volume 2, by Mark Cushman. And from here, I'll read a few notes from the series itself, from the production, maybe an interview or two from the cast members, costs of the production, things like that. So I'll start with the assessment by the author, which I usually do. And of course, the book is so enormous and thorough that I can't cover the entire thing. So I'll kind of brush on it and give you some of the highlights. According to the assessment by Mark Cushman, when watched with grown-up eyes, this isn't as bad as the memories of those who preferred first season Lost in Space might suggest. The story, theme, and music seem more geared towards an adult. The performances of Sheila Matthews as Brynhilda and Bern Hoffman as Thor are delightful. In all the ways Mutiny in Space failed, Space Vikings succeeded. One can find themselves laughing while reading the script, something that did not happen with Mutiny. And unlike the one note bellowing along as the Admiral in Mutiny, Matthews and Hoffman embrace what is on the written page, bringing further dimensions to their characters. Sure, they bellow and sing, but they also fret. But they still have more than one side, and these things combine to make for a joyous romp. The Space Vikings is a million light years removed from the earlier black and white episodes of Lost in Space, but it works if you're open to it. So this is written, tonight's episode, The Space Vikings, was written by Margaret Brookman Hill, story editor Anthony Wilson, directed by Ezra Stone, and produced by Urban Island with William G. Perella. All right. It looks like I'm sure naturally went through a few rewrites before it went in front of the camera, which is understandable. Well, just a quick question: Would you guys think this was better than last week's episode, or what? I know we don't usually talk about that ahead of time, but I know you guys had some strong feelings about last week's episode. What do you think?
Well, at least they weren't yelling cat. Wow! On repeat. Or cat swallow or whatever. They got cat following a cat or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually like this one quite a bit more than last week's.
Okay.
I did not like last week's at all, and I actually enjoyed this one this week, even though it was silly, but it was I thought it was a fun episode overall.
Very cool. Well, so did I. I had a great time watching tonight's episode too. So I have to agree there. Margaret Stewart, aka Margaret Brookman Hill, was an actress with a smattering of TV credits from the late 50s and early 60s. She was also a friend of Lost in Space writer Corey Wilbur. Kerry Wilbur, sorry. Stewart told interviewer Mark Phillips, I still enjoy the fascinating world of the Never Never Land. Contained imagination never hurt anyone, right? The Space Vikings was my first professional writing script, and it is the best of my memory. The only one then under that name. It was Kerry Wilbur who suggested I'll write an episode. He's also a fellow writer and longtime pal of 30 years. I had suggested to him that he write the mythological story of Brynhilda and Thor. Kerry promptly said, no, you write it. He took me in tow and introduced me to story editor Anthony Wilson. In fact, Kerry Wilson was supposed to write the Space Vikings. He pitched the idea and wrote The Pride of Valhalla. the 2-page springboard that was based on Wilbur wrote. I think that's a typo there. That doesn't quite sound right. All right, so I'm going to start with moving a little slow tonight, getting my stuff in order. There we go. Looks like we left off last week with Will, Penny, and Dr. Smith rehearsing for a play. And apparently they're reading their lines. And I don't have the exact lines. By the way, everybody, if you have not seen this episode, I encourage you to watch it on your own so that it makes sense, because we have to skip through several scenes and frames in order to give a synopsis of the episode. And we don't want to ruin it for you. We cannot play the episode verbatim, word for word, or play the video without getting a copyright warning. So this is a review only with just highlights. And the idea is to encourage you to go and watch it on your own.
Oh, yes. A review of the episode is very different from actually watching it.
Yes, completely. And my hope, my personal hope, is that there's a kid out there somewhere, some young mind who has not been exposed to this, that hopefully they'll eventually watch this, like it, enjoy it, and consider giving it a chance over TikTok or Instagram or any of that new modern stuff, which I'm not a fan of. So this is my answer to Instagram and TikTok.
Both are pretend stories. So pick
yeah.
one that was given a little more thought.
That's true. And this one's not harmful. It's not meant to do any harm.
All right. God, let's catch up on chats here. And Spooky Bet here says, I am subbed. Sweet. Alrighty. And Boober says, hello, Jill and gentlemen. Well,
Hello.
I know he's not talking to me on that one. Alright. And OG here says, warning, warning! I was waving wildly. And Mr.
Yes,
CCDV said, back in Los Angeles when people knew each other. All right, that's all the chats.
Yeah, the only time you know each other in LA now is if you share needles. Okay, so Will, Penny, and Dr. Smith are rehearsing for some sort of play. And I don't know if they mention it specifically by name. But it looks like Wilbur became busy after. This is the writer of this episode. Just a quick note, side note. Wilbur became busy after pitching the story and getting a contract to write the script, or so he said. His intent all along was to get his friend Margaret Stewart to do the job. He recommended her to take over the assignment, and then he stepped away. Stewart said, Carrie and I were aware of the marvelously zany, comedic style of Jonathan Harris. I credit Carrie as being instrumental in developing the character of Dr. Zachary Smith. Stewart, with a fair amount of brainstorming with Tony Wilson, did right by Wilbur and fleshed out the story into something better than what was indicated in the springboard. Wilbur was missing a third act, for that matter, most of the second act. Stewart rectified that oversight in this pure fantasy tale. So this episode finally went into production on November 16th. And almost forgetting, bear with me guys, and please accept my apologies. This is season 2, episode 20. It premiered Wednesday, February 8th of 1967. The synopsis is as follows. And I've got to be careful because sometimes there's too many spoilers. Through some harmless play acting, Dr. Smith unintentionally conjures up the magical gauntlets and warhammer of the Norse god Thor, taking him for a mighty taking for mighty warrior, Brynhilda spirals spirits Smith off to Asgard for a showdown with Thor. Okay. I guess that's okay without being too spoiler heavy.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And I love that they say spirits him away rather than teleports or transports, because there's no pretense that any of this makes any logical, like, there's no scientific uh, backing for anything except for the device that we get.
Right. And just so hopefully no spoilers, everybody, but yes, you see a winged horse, but no, you don't see a flying horse. So they at least give you a hint that there may be one, but alas, we may not be so lucky.
Yeah, we're quite a ways away from actual real science fiction with this episode, but I didn't
Yeah,
care because it was so much fun. I still had a great time watching it.
I suppose they just can't afford having a real life horse
I
on the
thought
set.
I loved the horse. I thought the horse was hilarious because was the horse made out of plastic or something? Like a
That's what it looked like to me.
yeah,
Possibly a prop, yeah. And knowing them,
yeah.
considering it was Rhode Island, it was probably pre-used from a different production ahead of time. I doubt if
Mhm.
it was actually manufactured for this episode.
Well, the funniest part of this scene is that Dr. Smith really thinks that he summoned the storm because he wrote it into his play. Does he really think that?
I know, but like a child, does he really mentally he gets so carried away where he honestly believes that sort of thing? So it's
I
like his
guess it
mind
makes
gets
sense
carried away
because
with him.
it does. Because I mean, but how do the words in this play summon the Norse gods? It's like sound doesn't travel through space. And obviously, just talking isn't going to bring on the Norse gods.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
Like some
I'm
kind of
wondering.
yeah, right, like some kind of rain dance or something.
Yeah, I mean, why would the Norse gods show up on some alien planet light years away from Earth anyway? Like, that's what I was scratching my head about. But it was, I just went
Well,
with it. I just went
well,
with it.
well, PvP. If you have to scratch your head at that, then you gotta scratch your head at that Apollo episode, like in Star Trek too, or in Star Trek there.
Oh,
Also,
that
stuff
one.
like that.
Well, I thought that was a little more believable, actually, Gorilla. But I
Yeah,
get what
because
you're saying.
they actually had to pull up to their planet and get into orbit before Apollo was able to use his whatever kind of powers to pull the Enterprise in
So,
to degrade the orbit of it. It has a little bit more feeling that, hey, I'm an all powerful kind of alien who's a godlike alien, and that's a thing that I want to say this is too, but but there's no there's not much to bring me into it the way
Yeah,
that Apollo brought me into it.
I can
Yeah,
agree with that.
That's a great comparison though, Gorilla.
yeah, yeah. I think that's a very good description of the two episodes. The Star Trek one is definitely, it's a little more thought out and a little more plausible than this one. I mean, this one though, even though it's totally implausible on a major level, it's still fun. So
Well, yeah,
I
I
did,
know because what works for the Star Trek episode is that they find the power source. They know what gives these aliens this kind of abilities that they have, and by destroying it, they get rid of the Apollo's ability, his powers. But here we don't have that. But what we do have is Will saying there has to be a power source on these gloves. So that was the one tiny thing that we do get in this whole thing.
Yes. I'm glad they do mention that, right? Because they obviously show them emitting sparks and all that. So I'm glad they at least talked about it. They didn't have to spend a lot of time about it on the script, but they did at least mention it.
So
So here
somebody
they are.
realized. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. Well, makes you wonder because, yeah, you're right. On this episode, for example, somebody realized, hey, maybe we should mention this. But then there's so many other times on other episodes where there's so many things they don't mention. It makes you wonder. It's like maybe somebody was sick on that day or something, right? Maybe there's a certain person that shows up on production, and they're the ones that ask the questions. Wait a minute, what about this? What about that? And then you can tell when that person's ill or not there today or something. I don't know. I'm reading too much into it. Sorry.
No, I think you're right. I think that makes sense.
I think part of the problem too is, I mean, there's a number of different writers in season two, and they're not all up to the same level of quality. So there is that. It's kind of like a inconsistency that does kind of weave its way through season two. At least that's what I've always thought when watching these. You
That's
know,
true.
just
No, you're right.
you know, good
So,
still, Joe.
so here's
Mhm.
where you ride the storm out, of course.
Yeah. Now here you think Dr. Smith really that dumb to think that because he wrote Storm in the third act that he's the one that caused it?
Well, that's Smith for you. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know how Smith thinks watching season two because it seems like he changes almost every other episode into a different personality sometimes, Like I don't know. Nice effect though with the sparks.
Yeah, it's almost like every episode is obviously a different writer. So every episode wants to give their own take on Dr. Smith.
It
Every
seems like it,
writer,
doesn't it?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
every writer, right? Every
Well,
episode, right? So every writer, knowing that they have to focus on Dr. Smith, they don't all focus on Dr. Smith the same way as the last one, if that
well, I
makes sense.
thought he rewrote most of his lines anyhow.
Majority he does. But the main story he doesn't. Like, I'm guessing, like, the structure of the main story, he goes in and cleans things up afterwards.
Well, I think Harris generally rewrote his dialogue, but as far as the structure idea of the storyline, I think the writers pretty much, had that nailed down, and Harris just had to go with whatever they'd provided story wise, right? I'm guessing.
Right, like he couldn't rewrite entire chapters and entire scenes and stuff, maybe. I'm not
Hmm.
sure what the limit of what he was able to do.
You know what I find too? It's not just Dr. Smith that is inconsistent, and some of season two. It's characters like Will. I mean, sometimes Will is his smart little intelligent, inquisitive self like he used to be, and then other times he's just like seems like kind of clueless, and he just does things that I don't think Will would ever do, like dangerous
Yes.
things that seem against his character, right?
Right, or absolutely against what his dad would allow, right? And they'll say, they know they'll get in trouble if they do this, but they'll do it anyway. But of
Yeah.
course,
What kind of
all of
power
it,
was? I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm distracting. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, but all of it is in service to the script. All of it is so that the script can move along without them
That's right.
asking too many questions.
True.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
What do we need our characters to do to get this story done? And we'll manipulate their character in order to do it. And in this case, it always makes sense that Smith wants power, but the only power he's really going to get from those gloves is like the power of thunder. So why is he so excited?
I think any kind of power excites Smith, though, if he's got it right. Like,
I
Well,
suppose.
and
Sure.
he's assuming. Remember, he doesn't know anything about him. He's assuming they'll give him the power of a storm because the storm was going on when they came flying out of the sky. So when you think about it, he really fills in a lot of the blanks for us, the audience. When we're
Yeah.
wondering, what are these? Where'd they come from? What do they do? He fills in a lot of that from his speculation.
Like the Greek letters
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
gauntlets.
So you
Right.
know what those gloves remind me of? The gloves you have to wear in packing houses. There they use chainmail gloves there over their
Yes.
hands that the hands there to protect them from cutting your fingers and stuff off.
Yeah,
And
butcher
that's what those
shops and things
gloves
like
kind of
that.
looks like.
Uh-huh.
Then
You're
they
totally
just
right.
like spray paint them with some chrome colored spray paint.
They're very
that's,
cold and
yeah.
heavy. If you get your hands. Has anybody here on the panel worn chainmail?
I actually have I
No.
have a pair of those chainmail gloves somewhere here. My dad left them here because he didn't need them any longer, and he just left them here, so he didn't have to get rid of them.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my mom knew these people. They had a suit of armor, and I tried on a set of chainmail, incredibly heavy. You can barely stand up. There's no way they could run. I mean, trying to run and maneuver and hand-to-hand combat. You're thinking, oh my goodness, those guys must. And I'm not exaggerating. Must have been very, very strong just to do basic movements.
Yeah, well,
And
that would make sense. I imagine they were very strong, though. If you were a knight or whatever, a warrior back then, you'd better be strong because the brutal way they would do combat against each other, Bob, it's kind of scary, right? Like, for us modern folks to think about, like, wow, they must have just been really tough guys.
yeah, especially for us, uh, compared to the people now, you figure. I mean, imagine that today we have Karens. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Men were men back then. They knew what they were, what men were for, and they knew when to protect. It was nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, the knights probably weren't couch potatoes, that's for sure.
No, they weren't.
What do you guys think about this Thor's hammer thing? Like, do you guys have an opinion on the look of this? I'm curious.
I
Well,
liked it. And I
before
remember. Go ahead,
oh, go
Jill.
ahead. Never mind. Before I step away for a moment, I just want to say, it is in character for Smith to ask the hammer to take him back to Earth, but it does make him seem kind of crazy.
I think it
Yeah,
partially wrecks the was it the Thor's hammer? Only the worthy are able to pick it up, but here Doctor Smith just could do willy nilly with it.
Well, I mean,
well,
if you're talking Marvel Universe Thor, it should be heavy, right? It should be a really powerful guy that can only lift it, but it's obviously not the case with Smith.
Okay,
well,
but I
there's
thought that was actual Norse mythology that only like the worthy could pick up Mirathor or whatever the heck the hammer's name was.
well, the Mjolnir was the name of the hammer. But you got to remember what the way it works is the Thor mythology with Valhalla and all that good stuff has been around a lot longer than Marvel's Thor. So it's been adapted in many ways throughout history and in different forms, and the character has been capable of doing different things. But now, these days, a lot of us are more familiar with Marvel's version of Thor than we are any other Thor. So that's why this is going to seem different to us because I'm sure all of us was thinking about the movies, the Thor movies when we were watching this, right?
Well, I've
Because
just heard different iterations over the years. That's why I was asking.
right, and he was a god. Marvel loosely based their character on him, but remember they had to use public domain and then adapt a certain amount of it for their own studio.
Hmm.
So there's parts of the Thor mythology that are copyrighted and copyrighted by Marvel that nobody else can use. And then there's a lot that is public domain that anybody could use, and the Marvel can't claim copyright over. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I would think it wasn't the North legends kind of like folk tales. Like, I would think that, that should be like public domain stuff for the most part, those stories,
yeah.
if they were originally
Yes.
folk tales, centuries ago, right? So,
Right. And I
Yeah.
hate to do this. I usually, if you guys hear me recommend something, I don't recommend things I don't like, and I only recommend things that I do like. And I don't like to send out mixed messages. But if you want to get a better understanding of the mythology that we're talking about here, check out that movie, The Norseman, from a couple years ago. It's supposed to be very realistic. It's supposed to be very, very good. I want to check it out, and I'm a big fan of the director. Uh, it's the same guy who did The Lighthouse and what a few other movies. He just completed Nosferatu, a remake of that, which I can't wait. I'm dying. I'm dying to see it, but I hope I don't die before it comes out. It's due out in Christmas.
Can we catch
But
up on chats here?
well, yeah, let me finish this topic. But the Norseman book is a. I mean, otherwise anybody could say, "Go pick up a book about a Norseman, and it'll tell you about the Viking mythology." But I'm saying I know a lot of us we watch movies, and that's how we get introduced to stuff. So at a minimum, what I could do is say I recommend the movie called The Norseman. And while we're
1978.
no, that one. Unless I got the name wrong, what I'm talking about is like only 2 years ago at the most. And the
Oh,
reason
you
why I
mean
did
2021?
Oh, was that the Northman? The
that's it,
Northman?
the Northmen.
Yeah, because it's slightly different than Norse, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I have to look. I mean, and the reason why I can't, the reason why I'm being vague with it, it's not intentionally. It's because I was a big fan. I was all hyped up to go see it. I loved the director, the script writer. I loved everything about the movie. I was so excited until they hired Nicole Kidman, and then that's when I decided no, and I did not go see it. So I did not go see it because of that one person, and that's too bad because it was a waste of a good movie.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Um,
Nicole fan either, to be honest. I never thought she could act much at all.
well,
She's
aside,
kind of a piece of wood.
she is. She's a terrible actress. She's box office poison. Everybody knows it. But not only that, but it's a music. I'm sorry, it's a movie that takes place back in back in those days that we're talking about. So we're talking about a movie that takes place centuries ago, and it stars a woman heavily covered with plastic surgery, and that just, I'm sorry, it upset me, and I thought that was very wrong of the director, which is crazy because usually the guy pays very good attention to detail. Yeah, here, I'm looking up. So I'm talking as I'm typing this in. The Northman 2022. The director is Robert Eggers, who, like I said, I'm a big fan of the director. But it's like, what was he thinking putting her in there? Because when you see her, she has obvious botched plastic surgery. You can see it a mile away. And to cast her in a major, big budget movie, and the plot goes as follows: a young Viking prince is on a quest to avenge his father's murder. But I do recommend you watch the movie because it's supposed to be very good about getting the understanding across about Viking mythology. So you're going to loosely kind of get the Thor plot in there, more of the public domain stuff, without having to get all that Marvel stuff shoved down your throat. But that's all I wanted to add. Now, yes, and sorry, apologize. Yes, let's do chat. Thank you, Gorilla. Unless Gorilla's not there anymore.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Sorry. Uh,
No, no.
Mr. CCDV is laughing. Mr. CCDV says this all equals science fiction according to Arthur C. Clarke. All right. Mr. CCDV says that's why I love Stargate SG-1.
And Stargate does it. Yeah, Stargate does it incredibly well because they prove that they're aliens. They're not gods. They have power sources. They were nothing without their technology. And
Well, that's the
yeah,
old saying, right? Advanced technology can appear like magic, kind of thing. So
exactly. That's
Star-
exactly what CCTV is saying. Is saying what
I didn't.
yeah,
I didn't.
I kind of
I'm
figured,
confused.
yeah.
Well, help
what
me out,
Arthur
guys.
C. Clarke
I'm
means.
confused, guys. Where did Arthur C. Clarke come into it? They introduced Norse mythology, or what was it? Or Stargate? What happened? Where how'd that get mentioned? I'm confused. I missed something.
Um, all
Uh,
right.
yeah. Who brought up Stargate? Was it? Did you bring up
Oh,
Stargate,
okay.
Jill?
So the
I
quote is
lost
the
track
quote
of
that
when we were
Mr.
talking.
Okay, the quote that Mr. CCDB I think is referencing is by Arthur C. Clarke. Is any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, and so he's saying that
Yeah.
in essence mythology can be science fiction. and he mentioned Stargate SG-1 as an example. Who Mourns for Adonis is another good example where it seems like the alien is a god. They're like godlike aliens, but in reality, they require technology in order for any of that to function. But the technology makes them seem magical, and so I don't know. I'm guessing that's what he's saying, but I can't know for sure.
Oh, okay. Thank you for explaining that. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. Sorry,
Yes.
I lost track of what we were talking about for a moment. Okay, what's the next one? What's the next chat gorilla?
All right. Mr. CCDV says it would be good in modern media to have someone on set going, WTF. Yep.
I know.
I'm pretty sure, but I think that's what the crowd is, or all the watchers is for. And Taylor Swift says, "LOL." Mr. CCDV says that someone that knows at least a little about physics.
It'd
I
be
think
nice, right?
any science fiction show should have a science consultant and possibly a military consultant.
I agree. Well, it depends on whatever
Yeah.
the show's about, right? Both would be even
It
better.
does. It depends.
No, I'd
I
agree.
think
I'd
on
agree.
Star Trek, you can use both.
If you had both, it would be the best scenario for sure.
Yeah. So then also he says the cage is a good example.
Kind
I
of.
think.
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay. He says I'm not ashamed of wearing, or I am not ashamed of wearing 80 pound of armored gear walking through Iraq. I was just quartermaster. So that would suck.
Yep. And I'm a veteran as well. I do it. I'm not physically able to now, but I do it again in a heartbeat to protect my country.
All right.
Even though I know these days a lot of people don't really respect the
Thank you, Pop.
military. Oh,
Yeah, thanks for your service, Pop.
Yeah. Thank you.
oh, oh no! It was my pleasure. And like I said, I'd do it again.
Yeah. And welcome Scurvy. He
Hey,
says,
Lemon.
"Good evening, everybody."
Hello, lemon
Hey,
pie. Good to
Lemon.
see you. Hope you're doing good, lemon pie. I know we're getting a lot of dead air. Are we done
Oh,
with
sorry.
the chat?
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I'm scrolling here. I did done something down here. And Mr. CCV says, "What up, Scurvy?" The Last Kingdom is historically accurate. The lead is a fictional, but King Albert was real. Okay,
What is that?
The Last Kingdom.
Movie?
Oh, I'm guessing, or is a book. And welcome to Suzanne Eckstein.
Hi,
Hello,
Suzanne.
Suzanne. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah. Mr. CCTV says, I'm a
Hi,
Viking.
Suzanne.
I'm a Viking American. So I have watched all those shows. Oh, cool. And Suzanne saying hello to all of us here. Then Mr. CCTV said Stargate started with Egyptian gods. They moved it to Asgard. Oh, okay.
Well,
I haven't
okay.
seen it.
Well, they had other planets besides Earth. The Gould ruled other ones, and they moved on to. I think they moved on to Abydos first, and then Chulak, and so that's Stargate stuff. Moving on.
Yeah, and then they got different ones in the sequels.
Sorry.
All right, so we're all caught up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so
in
ahead,
Norse
Joe.
mythology, does Thor's hammer explode when you throw it and then come back to you?
It'd be handy.
I'm not sure the details. It causes a reaction. I believe it returns to you, but I'm not sure the details. And I don't know if it's as magical as they portray it here and in the Marvel comics.
Yeah. Hey Jill, if Thor's hammer exploded when you throw it, I'm pretty sure our government would find money to find enough money to waste on trying to figure it out how to do it.
Well, they'd be wanting to reproduce it, I guess.
They'd have to believe it's real. Yeah.
It would be handy though. It's like a combination of a hand grenade and a boomerang, right? You You get the explosion and then it comes right back to you. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's wonderful that it goes back together. It can't be destroyed, but it functions as an explosive device inexplicably
Yeah, I mean, that
over
would
and
be
over.
really handy in a battle for sure. I wouldn't mind one of those if I was,
Yeah.
if I was a Norse god, which I'm not.
It looks
Nice
like they
explosion,
lost a chair. Did they lose a chair in it?
It looks
quite
like they lost it.
possibly.
Not only that though, but it was one of their Target camping sets.
Oh,
But yes, it was so long ago now. I lost track of what I was going to say a few minutes ago. But the hammer was thrown and destroyed all. I don't know. When they were doing damage control, Professor Robinson said that all he found was a hole back there. He didn't see anything but a casualty of being one chair. So maybe they didn't lose one of their chairs.
It
And it's
looked like they
funny,
lost something.
because we did see debris going flying. But it is odd how they could have tried to establish, like they were trying to build a home, with furniture, couches, chairs, and things like that. But they tend to always go with the camping motif. And they even
Well,
call it a campsite whenever they refer to the front of the Jupiter 2. They say, get back to the campsite.
yeah. Well, all he said was there's just a hole and a little bit of damage from shrapnel.
Shrapnel.
no, that was it. Yeah.
Well,
So we don't
usually,
have Stone Racket here to say it, but Judy sighting, she shows up for just like this scene, and that's about it.
yeah,
You
Yeah.
might as
Stone
well
Racket.
almost write her off the show to save some money.
We miss you, Stone Racket.
There's almost no Judy at all in this one, actually. You know what I find weird with this scene, guys, though, is I mean, you just had a major explosion next to the Jupiter 2, but instead of going to investigate what caused it, they're all sitting around eating soup. Like, I don't know. Seems a bit strange. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they're hungry.
Yeah, but you think they would have investigated something that exploded right next to their spaceship? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they're very casually asking Dr. Smith about it. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It can wait till
Yeah,
after. It can wait till after supper or breakfast or whatever meal it is.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know. They're pretty. You're right. An explosion just happened, and everyone is really chill about it.
I know. It's actually kind of hilarious. I just went with this episode. Well, this is great. I mean, talk about silly. Wow.
He leaves them like barely enough for a small sandwich left.
And he's like,
One.
hey,
That's
hey,
exactly it. Yeah, he takes them with all the food.
yeah. Hey, oh man, I want to get this clip for my thing there. Inadequate, but it'll have to do. Oh, I should get that for my reviews.
Well, you know what?
I'll send you the picture, girl. On
That
Twitter.
would be good.
No, I'd like the video clip. Do you got the video clip?
No, I don't have the video clip. I
Okay.
mean, I'd have to clip it.
You know what I was puzzled though is okay, we know that there's all kinds of foodstuffs that miraculously show up on the Jupiter tour almost by magic. Where did they get the ham from?
Or they always reproduce meat. Remember, they have sausage all the time for breakfast, eggs,
Yeah.
A protein resequencer. I think
Well,
they
it's
mentioned one of the episodes.
I'm sorry.
chicken. They've had
PvP.
chicken legs. Go ahead, Jill.
Now they have a device they've never mentioned before, and I'm hoping they mention again, which is a replicator. So maybe they replicated all this food.
So it's kind of like Star Trek now then. They have a food replicator.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna question the sausage, you go then question out how's their clothes all always in pristine condition instead of getting torn up.
Now I just remember early in the series they were always talking about having to grow a garden to survive kind of thing at first, right? And now it's like, wow, just you name it. We got ham, we got cheese, we got anything you want to, snack on. It's like we can produce it, which is nice, I guess. But I guess there must be a replicator. Yeah, yeah.
Well, it
It's
seems
inside
like
the
the only
world.
time they mentioned, seems like the only time they mentioned woe was really with the salads, I mean, with produce, is when their hydroponic garden gets damaged or destroyed. Then they say, the last I remember them saying was, now we'll go without salad for a month. So maybe they can reproduce other food except for produce. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I think it was more along the lines of like on Enterprise. There,
I'll be right back.
they had a hydroponics garden, but they had a protein resequencer to make artificial meats.
I'm just wondering though, wasn't there an episode quite a while back where their garden got damaged or destroyed and they were afraid they'd have to like they'd starve if they didn't get some food going in the next few weeks? Like I vaguely remember an episode with something like that in the storyline.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It doesn't make much sense at all that they
Mm,
have this.
okay. Thank you, Jill. I figured I remember that.
We were just humoring some headcanon stuff, but no, in reality, look, see, now we have a replicator. So I hope we keep this replicator forever and ever.
If you want to just go with headcanon stuff there, who knows? Maybe Don's been working on that for months, and they finally got so they can make a replicator.
It could be.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
You know,
maybe maybe they got it from the store there, the store there in a settlement there after their faulty machine sucked both Will and uh, Dr. Smith into it.
maybe
Oh,
they
you
got
mean
it
Almost,
from
one?
the
You
yeah.
mean one of those stores, Mr. Zumdish?
yeah, remember when they had the faulty machine? Maybe they got it in a settlement and
Yes.
forgot to mention it.
Yeah. Maybe the toy maker left it for them as a gift or something. Yeah.
True.
You know what I find really disturbing in this scene is Smith puts this really good looking cheese sandwich down on a dirty rock. It's like, yeah.
Oh, come
No,
on,
and yeah, he's gonna.
where's your sense of adventure? Dirt always makes food taste better.
I prefer my ham and cheese sandwiches without grit in them, Gorilla. That's just me. Sorry.
And rocks, little
Yeah,
No
pebbles.
rocks. Yeah.
yeah, I set my food down on like on the docks or wherever all the time.
Oh well. Yeah.
Where
Well.
somebody's foot was?
But
Where somebody's foot was? Somebody could have been walking right by there a second ago.
well, I fish on the boat landing docks, so that I'm the only one that can fit on that dock.
It would have been fine, but then he said to the sandwich later. So you know
Yeah.
he's gonna come back and eat it.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Annie Smith, so of course he's going to eat it, right? So.
Then even then he still calls the poor sandwich inadequate.
Well, but then the other thing that bothered me on this part is Smith is extorting the robot through threat of
Yeah.
power pack removal. I know he's done that before, but here it just seems a little bit meaner than normal.
Right, outright blackmailing, yes.
Yeah, and the poor robot, he like puts his head down, I think, shortly after. Like he's scared. And it's like, poor
But-
robot.
Now, this is our first mention of this box, right? That can replicate stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I never saw it before.
There was a device that was able to do it a long time ago, but then the alien who let them have it took it away.
Darn shame.
Yeah.
So
Before
one of the
yeah.
writers somewhere along the line, one of the writers somewhere along the line said, "Hey, let's bring that back. That was a good plot device. Very handy."
But all this does is kind of confuse things. Like, oh, now we have multiple
Yeah.
gloves and two of them don't work.
Yes.
What did it do exactly?
That's something too that I wondered about is why did Smith need to get a pair of fake gloves when he just hid them under a rock and didn't seem to ever do anything with them?
Well, I thought he put the real ones under the rock and then the fake
Fake
ones.
ones.
Thought he had power.
Right
Because
out in the
the real ones had
open.
power.
Right, he's thinking that he can keep the original and make fakes. That way, if the fakes fall into the wrong hands, then he can keep and still have the originals. Is what I got from it.
Hmm. It
Like
ends
if I
up
had the
just
Mona-
confusing.
Like if I had the Mona Lisa, I would
Yeah.
do the same thing. I want to make sure that if I'd make one fake one, that way they would take it believing they have the real one. and they would no longer be searching for the real one. And I'd always
Thing
know
is,
that the real one is safe. I don't know.
the thing is, though, when Thor figures out that the gloves aren't any good, he does get a bit upset later on. So it kind of
Yeah,
backfires him, Smith, a bit. I think eventually.
like everything else that Dr. Smith runs across.
Yeah, if the replication isn't good enough to deceive, then it's really of no real good purpose.
And they don't mention in this episode if they can replicate food, because that would have been a good thing to mention. They could have replicated one of those sandwiches in that box.
Yeah, right? That would have been great if he would have gotten that sandwich and then made a whole bunch of sandwiches.
That would have made sense actually if he would have said, "Will, my boy, are you hungry? I'll replicate this sandwich for you." And then he
And it would have
replicated
helped
and handed
him,
it to Will. You know, that would have been
right?
great.
And it would have helped explain it for June. When she said Dr. Smith would like to take something to eat, he could say, "Thank you, madam, but I have the replicator box with me. I'll whip something up."
Yeah, boy, it's too bad they didn't put that in the episode. Oh well.
Right. They'd have to explain it to the audience because that's a pretty big introduction to a fairly important plot device. I mean, because their whole trip would change their whole mission and trip. Any society. Us, them, any society. Getting a box that could replicate, that would change the society.
It would. What do you guys think of this monster creature?
Look at that hat.
Alien.
Does it look familiar?
A little bit, right. It looks like bloop bloop.
So this is when Debbie grows up and grows a mustache.
I think so, and yeah, and forgets who she is. He is.
Hey! While she was traumatized by the lack of screen time, us apes are very sensitive about her amount of screen time there, and she's going through her transition.
Oh no!
Oh, there it is.
Oh, she's gone now. Who's going to break the news to Penny?
Poor Penny. She'll never get over it.
And now she's going to find out the truth about the bloop.
I gotta say though, when I saw that creature, at first I was thinking, "Oh, here we go." I was thinking this episode might really be bad, but then thank goodness they did manage to turn it around in the next few minutes. So
yeah, it wasn't on the scene very long.
Thank goodness.
I don't know. I think this is about the same exact quality as last week, but it's.
I liked it far better.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'll explain why later when I give my review. But I had fun watching this one.
And now we get our appearance of Brynhilda.
My daughter would love this giant replica horse.
You should show it to your daughter sometime. If you
she's
think
not
she
going to
would enjoy it.
understand. She'll probably be bored by
No, she just wants the horse.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can understand. She'd probably get bored with Dr. Smith. I could. That would make sense, actually.
Hey, if you couldn't just get some kind of play toy horse and attach wings on it somehow for her birthday or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically, Pegasus.
Yes.
Pegasus is a popular character that never got enough screen time. I love Clash of the Titans.
Uh-oh. Speaking of.
There we are.
Oh.
So Dr. Smith has passed out, and Robot is trying to explain what's going on, and Brynhilda thinks he's dead, and Robot's telling her no, he's not. Enlarge this so I can see it. Then you awaken him. I can only awaken dead horses, she says. Which doesn't make a lot of sense, but oh well, what are you going to do, right?
Dead heroes.
Heroes. That makes more sense.
All right. Can you catch up on
Yes,
chat?
it does.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, but I like the way the robot wakes up Dr. Smith.
Yeah.
Dr. Smith,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
time to eat.
And it works. It works really well, too.
He can read the chat.
Well, remember, it's the second time they've woken him up that way. Earlier in the series, he said, Dr. Smith, wake up, and he said, I'm innocent. So, yeah, he's always ready to go on his feet. Go ahead.
All right, so Scurvy here says SG1 is a great show. I'm gonna have to watch it. It's on the list sometime.
Agreed. I love it.
Mr. CCDB says in the original mythology he could not fly with it. Thor's hammer was a really good hammer.
Cool.
Okay. And Suzanne says hi to Scurvy. And Mr. CCDB says everyone was pretty much or everything was pretty much handmade back in the 3rd century. Yes, it was.
Makes sense.
And they don't make stuff like they used to. Like I got a couple old like refrigerators from like 40 years ago that I went to throw out. They didn't pick up for junk days there. I tried to smash it apart and we were going at it. I was like, I hardly made any marks on it. I was like, geez, they don't make things like these. Any modern things, those things would have been in 1,000 pieces.
Yep, it all started with the light bulb.
Yeah, those old refrigerators are built like tanks because my parents had one post-war. I grew up with it in the 60s and 70s. That thing was built like a tank, and it worked really well for like 40 years before it was getting too expensive to, because of the power, cost. It was, draining power, so we got a new fridge. But boy, it was a great fridge.
Yep,
Yeah,
totally makes sense.
All right, and what were you gonna say?
I'm moving my icon there. That way we can see Jill. Jill was being covered up. It's like, no, we don't want to cover up Jill. So now we can see everybody, and I'm down the bottom.
Yeah. All right.
We can take turns like musical chairs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And Mr. CCDV says, my cat is looking at my face. I might have to my computer. I'll move to my computer. I guess what I'm saying. They might have mind the ham off an asteroid.
Lemon, I love the way you think.
Hey, maybe that's where Boop went.
I'm trying to understand the context of that. I mean, there'd have to be life on that planet to get ham.
Well, he's an asteroid pig.
Well, no, it's a boop. The ham is made out of Boop.
Well, okay. Or it'll be like Robinson Crusoe from Mars, where they had sausage plants. There were plants.
That's right. Yes, you're right.
So they had like sliced ham plants. You're saying, Jill?
It was sausage, but it was good if you ate it raw. But if you cooked it, it turned into a hallucinogen.
Oh, gee.
Hey, where can I get this plant?
Apparently on Mars.
Yeah.
Apparently on Mars.
For research purposes, obviously.
It's not real. Sorry, Gorilla.
Yeah, Mr. CCDB says it's our waste that's recycled into food. Well, they've never done that. I don't remember much any of that they're like. The closest thing I can think of is Enterprise when they talked about the people's waste being turned into plastics.
Well, they're doing it as far as us in real life. That is part of the discussion of our space program to Mars is going to be recycling and everything like that. So that is inevitable in our future, at least.
Well, I don't think it'll turn it into food, but I think it'll turn it into like plastics and usable items.
No, I'm talking food.
Right now we can't waste anything.
Right. It'll be returned back into food. Food and water. We'll be eating our own feces and urine.
I think in Martian, in the movie Martian, they have him. They have the main character fertilizing his own potatoes in that way.
Yes, they touched upon it in that movie. Yes, that was a good movie. I recommend it. Why don't you cover that on my horror sci-fi stream?
Yeah. So much for volunteering to be the first one to go to Mars. All right, then it says, to be honest, I did eat out of a trash pile back in 2003. I also drank the thrown away water bottles. We were allowed to eat off the local economy for a while. What? Okay. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm glad to see you go hungry, Mr. CCDV.
Yeah, and
that's not good.
Yeah, it said we sent all the beans and bullets to the fighting troops.
Good.
All right, and he goes, I never rode a horse. I'd be happy to have my first time on a winged horse crash and burn. My aunt used to own horses there. They're a lot of fun, but I can't ride horses because like whenever we're like trotting along, I have a tendency to go for some reason, and horse thinks I'm trying to tell her to speed up. Then they had fun with that one, but of course I was like 7 when I was doing that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say you were colorblind, Gorilla, or is it somebody you knew that was colorblind?
I've been like I'm partially colorblind in one eye.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
And the Phantom Boomer Explorers welcome. Oh, and I don't know if I ever said welcome. But he said, horses do not like me. My parents had horses. They always tried to drag me off by rubbing against the barbed wire. The horses, not my parents. Hey, at least I don't know which it would be worse, the electric fence or barbed wire.
Hello, Phantom Boomer, and sorry to hear that.
And I don't even know if I want to read that one.
Oh, no.
Not on Lost in Space. I would on Rumbling.
That's not quite PG or P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would on Rumblings, maybe, but not on the Lost in Space because I got told I got to keep it to the rating of the show. Good one, good one, but I can't read it on Lost in Space. All right, that's all the chats.
It's amazing what one letter can change the meaning of a sentence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, did you notice they misspelled Brynhilda's name here? She's not Brynhilda. Come on, guys. Brynhilda. Seriously.
Yeah, your name is spelled more than one way in this episode.
I gotta say, at first,
homework.
I thought she was going to be really annoying at first, but I kind of started to like her after a few scenes.
I forgot to mention. Does anybody know who she is?
That is Irvin Allen's wife.
Well, yes, she was girlfriend at the time. They married in '74.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sheila Matthews Allen.
Yeah. I totally knew that off the beat. I did not happen to read it on a website, and especially not a website the Lost in Space, the Space Vikings wiki page.
No, I read it. The reason why I learned about her is when I saw the Poseidon Adventure. I was like, wait a minute, that's the lady from Lost in Space. And she played one of the ill-fated nurses on the Poseidon Adventure where they were heading the wrong way. And I thought, I recognized her, and I remember because her role in this series is remarkable because it's not like she's got a big role or she has a lot of lines, but it really stands out and it's very memorable. So it's very easy when you spot her in something else to say, oh, yeah, I remember her. Just like the guy who played the captain last week, Mr. Kid, no! Once you see something like that, you remember.
Oh, jeez. I found her a lot more fun, though, than last week's guy. Like, she was funny. I thought she was generally funny in this episode.
She was not as irritating. Yes, I agree.
She had a certain charm, I guess I would say, with her crazy operatic singing and whatnot.
All right.
Okay, is that all for the chats?
Oh wait. Sorry, I had to step away quick. I'll be right back. My daughter needs me. Apparently, I think that's supposed to be the private chat. And there's no problem with doing your research, Gorilla. Nah.
No, that helps fill in the blanks. I love when people do the research.
All right, so that's all the chats. But looks like Jill's away from the page here.
Okay, so Jill stepped away. Gorilla needs to step away to check it on his daughter.
I didn't have to step away. I don't have my kids today.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. I apologize for that.
No, Jill's away with her daughter.
Oh, I see she wrote in the main chat too.
Yeah,
Um,
so
yeah, I used to. I was a big fan of Norse mythology and all that stuff. I remember when I was in second grade, believe it or not, it was required reading. The books had very large words. I remember, and they were you read through them pretty quick. They don't have a lot of pages, but I'm glad that that was required reading because these days, oh my God, I'm afraid to see what they're giving the kids. So yeah, I'm very blessed about that. So I had heard about the Thor mythology and Brynhilda and all that stuff, Zeus and the gods like Mercury and all that were really cool. But and I like the movie, like I said earlier. I like Clash of the Titans, but for some reason, I don't like Lord of the Rings. That kind of fantasy just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't ring my bell. But to each their own. No offense to fans that do like that stuff. I know it's very popular, and more power to them. That's totally fine. All right, let me see what I can find here to fill in the blanks. Bear with me, guys.
you know what? I really hate when you stand up and one foot hits the floor and the other one the floor is gone.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, stood up and like one foot hit the floor. There, the other one like it's like the floor wasn't even there.
And
All right,
I got this is from the notes I want to mention that the episode did go out of its way this time to actually have a relatively large cast. We got two huge Valkyrian dogs, although not indicated. I have arbitrarily this is the writer of the book writing. I have arbitrarily specified only two: a small Valkyrian dog, a very cute little Yorkie, and a winged horse. Note: although I have heard about this could be written out. This is when they were going over the notes of the script and putting it together, what they could afford, what they could not afford. And they said if we could afford the horse, they knew it would contribute immensely to the production. So that was one of the main things they wanted to make sure to cover in the production because they knew it would have helped. So I'm glad they did. The winged horse was changed from livestock to prop. This was Margaret Stewart's only script for Lost in Space, she said. I did my one episode and then I was off on an acting tour with Gloria Swanson. Later, Terry and I wrote TV shows together. Writing under her real name as Margaret Stewart, she collaborated with Carrie Wither, on a 1970s script for a short-lived series called Lucan. Anybody remember that? The
Nope.
dog.
No,
It was
I
about
don't.
very short-lived. They find a kid living in the wilderness, raised by wolves. It's like a rip-off of Tarzan, except that he's raised by wolves instead of by apes.
Hmm.
Yeah, it didn't. I think it lasted less than a season.
Yeah, I don't remember that one at all. I don't think I ever heard of it actually.
Director Ezra Stone of this episode was born in December of 1917 and began as an actor on the stage when in his early teens. He started directing for the stage before he turned 20, and for several years alternated between acting and directing. He appeared in some early 1940s movies, such as Those Were the Days and This Is the Army, but primarily kept busy on the stage. One directing assignment was for the play See My Lawyer, starring Milton Berle returning as an actor. Stone played a teenage Henry Aldrich for the stage production of What a Life, and then moved with the property when it was developed as a sitcom for the radio as The Aldrich Family. He left the series in 1942 to join the Army, but later returned as a director in '49 when the series made moves to television. On and off stage and in and out of television, Stone finally gravitated towards more TV directing and helmed 25 episodes of I Married Joan, starring Jim Backus, a hit in the early and mid '50s. He directed 25 episodes of the sci-fi comedy My Living Doll in '64 and '65, which starred Bob Cummings and Julie Newmar in the title role as a sexy robot. Who she later on, obviously, we all know, Julie Newmar later went on to do Catwoman. And from '64 to '66, 27 episodes for The Munsters. So the guy who directed this episode did 27 episodes for The Munsters. Now that Lost in Space had transformed into a sci-fi fantasy comedy, Ezra Stone seemed a reasonable choice as director, but it was actually Stone who chose Lost in Space. He told, this is the director, I'm keep reminding everybody to keep us mentally in one place. The director, Ezra Stone, told interviewer Mark Phillips, I saw that Urban Allen had a couple of series, Lost in Space and Voyage, that were top rated. I was looking for work and I wrote him and said I wanted to be a winner. He's quite a character, Irwin, and evidently his shows have been turned down by major directors of that period as being second rate or frivolous or whatever. So he was impressed that a director with my so-called reputation had come to him. He showed my letter to the lieutenants at production meeting to prove they were directors who wanted to work on these shows. Stone was friends with Justice Addis, who directed for Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and so did Don Richardson. But I looked at it as a challenge. Martha Kristen said, Ezra Stone was a quiet, gentle person, not a personality like Sutton Rowley, but it wasn't like Sylvie Martin, where he was nodding off in his chair. He had more presence than that. And obviously, Sheila Matthews Allen, being Irwin Allen's friend slash girlfriend, appeared in many of his productions. So apparently, she was also in Land of the Giants, but she also did, like a lot of actors and actresses at the time, did her tour around television on westerns, like Bonanza, for example, The High Chaparral, Dirty Sally. I mean, it's incredible when you think about all the shows that came and went back in the '60s and '70s.
It is. That's what I wanted to show
It was a
right
green
here.
light them.
It'll show in just a
spend
second.
all that money to.
I just love that horse. It's so hilarious. It's so good.
Was that interesting?
And with Smith,
Was
look at the way Smith is. The way Smith is.
I think I accidentally interrupted you because I think your internet dipped a bit, or mine did.
Go for it. I was waiting for you to come back. Go for it.
Yeah, it was yours, Jill, but well, there I was waiting for Pop to finish with this thing here to catch up. I want to say hello to Jim's Landscaping. Welcome, welcome.
Oh, hi, Jim.
Yeah, Jill, and I was just passing time till you came back, so go for it.
Yeah.
Jim's here. Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim.
LLC.
And Mr. CCDV here says, I seem to remember that there was a time between stage acting and modern.
I don't know.
In modern media.
Did you say already?
What?
Can you read that again, Gorilla? I didn't get that.
Seem to remember
I seem
that
to
there was
remember
a time.
Hey, Jill, are you hearing us okay? Or it seems like
I think we're getting an echo or
Acting.
something.
Yeah,
And-
it seems like you're talking over each other at times, it seems, you guys. I don't know.
Okay.
Is there an internet connection issue or something? Perhaps. I'm guessing. I don't know.
I'll get out and I'll come
I
back
don't
in. I'll be.
Alrighty, so
What happened?
she's gonna check her internet thing. She's been roboting and she's not
Okay,
here
so-
yet.
All right.
She's
so
not here yet.
I was
Yeah.
trying to make sense of what Gorilla said. What was that last statement that Mr.
I-
CCTV said?
It says, I seem to remember that there was a time between stage acting and modern planks of wood in modern media. Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
that's one thing we mentioned a lot on the Walton. Is there like we'll focus in, especially with Ralph Waite there on his the way his eyes are moving and he talk. He can emote with his eyes. There,
Well, I think a lot of
Right.
actors back I think a lot of 50, 60, 70 actors were stage trained, which is why they know how to emote, right, Gorilla? And a really good actor like Ralph Waite can express a whole range of emotions just with his eyes or just with an expression, right?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, that
So
makes sense what Mr. CCDV is saying there.
yes, and Older Greg says you can usually tell which actors came out of the theater.
Hmm.
Mm, yeah,
Yep.
I'm more hard sci-fi than fantasy. Yeah, I like my fantasy though. And Mr. CCDV says right, Older Greg, and try Soviet science fiction. Very hard science and zero fantasy. And this is where Jim says hello to everyone. Hey Jim,
Hey, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
and Mr. CCDV. You all read this one, so I don't have to screw up spelling it
Can you read
for
it for me,
No.
Mr.
production.
Uh, can you read it for me, PVV?
Yeah, I'll read it. Mowgli, Jungle Book, Raised by Apes. So was George of the Jungle, though. Don't take my word for it. Yeah, well, that's true. I guess Mowgli was in the Jungle Book was raised. Was he not by apes? I can't remember though. I haven't seen that cartoon in a long, long time. I saw the Disney version way back when I was a kid.
I'm not sure. I think that's in response to when they brought up that short-lived series, Lucan, maybe when I was talking about that.
Hmm.
So we may have gotten off on a tangent.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Oh, Mr. CCDV says I've been reading Kipling for decades. Well, that's good. Put a couple of horns on the robot, and poof, he's a Viking. That would have been funny. I would have liked to have seen the horns on the robot. That would have been good.
Would they be metallic?
I hope so.
Yeah. Um, Older Greg says Kipling had some great stuff. I'm not sure who this Kipling is.
Rudyard Kipling was a famous author a
Yes.
long time ago.
Was he
Okay.
British or Indian or a combination of the two, Pop? I forget now.
Yeah,
There's
I'm not.
Jill.
Hey, Joe.
Mr. CTV could probably tell us.
Hello.
Welcome back, Jill. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm better now.
Yes,
Can
you
you hear?
sound great.
You
All
sound
right.
good. Can you hear? Can you hear us? Okay, because that's probably good then. Hello.
I think so.
Okay, good, good.
All right. So Older Greg says I read RUR English translation. Danged,
Yes.
danged robots. And welcome to the Nemesis of Eden.
Hey,
Though
Nemesis.
we just need your protagonist now. I think that's the opposite of a nemesis.
Hello,
ain't it?
Nemesis of Eden. So good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well, Nemesis of Eden. And I have to thank you once again for the wonderful gaming streams.
Alrighty, so here we got and he goes, "Hey Jill, you wanna read this one?"
Hail Jill, I hope you are well. I'm doing well, but I am hoping a friend of mine feels better soon.
Very cool.
Alrighty. Then Mr. CVD says British stationed in India. He was in the British Afghanistan War.
Okay, I
Oh,
figured it
thank
was
you.
something like that. Thank you, Mr. CCDV.
Alright, that's all the chats.
All right, so back to the show, which means I need to bring. There we go. Back to Brynhilda with her appearance and with the robot. And now she sees that third glove laying there. She says, "What is this?" So they decide to grab all three gloves to make sure they get the right ones, obviously.
Actually,
You
I
got a
think
lot.
they leave the glove behind, don't they?
Yeah,
They
they
do. You
missed the
could be
second
right.
glove. They only have the one glove at this point.
I'm losing track. Sorry about that.
That's
Thank
okay,
you.
Bob.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
I
You're
you
this
for
welcome. That's
scene
what we're
remembering.
here for.
did this scene bother you guys like it bothered me? Because once again, we have Professor Robinson. Will tells him the absolute truth of what this crazy stuff he just saw happen to Dr. Smith. And, Professor Robinson's like, oh, we've heard these wild stories.
Oh
And I
yeah,
don't
and he
think,
didn't believe him, of course. The boy cried wolf
yeah,
once again.
yet again. And that's not the Professor Robinson from season one, I don't think. So it annoyed me a bit, this scene.
Yeah, and it's just happening every episode that oh, well, that sounds way too silly to be believed, even though we've seen lots of silly things already.
And even though Will's probably told them 30 times already about some crazy alien he's seen, and it always turns out to be true, right, Jill? So it's like,
Yeah,
why don't you believe me?
exactly.
Poor Will.
Well, and we do finally see it later on in the episode. They don't say, sorry, Will, we should have believed you.
Eventually, yeah, that's good. True. I love this scene when they're all eating away, and I just love the way Smith is eating in this scene.
Well,
Yeah, we
the
got a
great
Rusty
mighty
dog.
warrior.
I just love all the chicken drumsticks or whatever they got in the bowl there. It's like, wow, that's a lot.
Hey,
I think
they're
those- I think
warriors.
those are-
They gotta have a healthy appetite.
Yeah, I think those are turkey.
Turkey, okay.
It can't be turkey because he wasn't sleeping afterwards.
The greatest warrior, Dr. Smith, cannot keep little puppies off his turkey.
Well, maybe if you didn't put it down right where the puppy is, he wouldn't have to worry about that. But of course, Smith is Smith.
I used to have a dog that
Better
was just like that. His
excuse.
name was Bruno.
Oh,
Oh boy.
So Dr. Smith is loving it. He's really, normally he's always looking for a way out, but he actually seems to be genuinely enjoying where he's at and being in that situation. I think it's because he's almost like second in command. Well, without being in command, I think he says that, doesn't he? Because he doesn't want to fight.
yeah. She says that with that hammer, you're stronger than Thor. You're more powerful than him, and everything you say, everybody has to obey you. And so, she's laying it on thick, but really, she's just using Dr. Smith as a training session for her husband.
Yes.
Yeah, the thing is, she does not make it clear at all to Dr. Smith that Thor is actually going to be back in a while, and Thor is still somebody to be reckoned with, even if he doesn't
No,
have his
in
hammer.
fact, she lies. She says, Smith, you can replace him.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant, Jill. Like she's just totally, like buttering him up at this point.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
that's
the whole the way I took it, the whole thing is whoever wins, I'll be the one to marry, just like in Amok Time.
Well,
No. She's not looking to marry Smith. She just wants to use him as training. So I guess they don't have gyms in Asgard.
Yeah, Smith is like training fodder so that Thor can practice on him and beat him up. Basically, I'm guessing.
Yes, precisely. That's the whole idea.
I do like this set too. This is a pretty cool set.
Yeah, they did have to. We didn't get to see much of Asgard itself, but we did get to see the inside of their house.
Yeah.
Oh, and they talk about the frost giants, but we only ever see their feet.
That's true. And they don't actually, their feet didn't look all that frosty.
No, they didn't.
I like Smith's costume here, though. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Sorry, I had to grab a drink. No, the frost. Were you guys were just talking about the frost giants, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that the same things they had in the second Thor movie?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't I haven't seen that.
How about for you guys in the chat? Anybody remember? Wasn't that those things that they were like on a frozen planet, and they found out that Loki was related to them? That he was one of them at birth, and that was one of the things that their father had lied to them about. I know I shouldn't remember that much, but I do, unfortunately.
I just love how when Thor shows up here, he goes, "Brynhilda, I'm home," or whatever. It's like one of those classic '60s sitcom lines, right? It's hilarious.
I felt it was like the Flintstones.
Yeah, it was. I just
True,
love it.
that's true.
I gotta say, this guy playing Thor is what made the episode for me because I thought he was so funny. He was just so good. This really bumped my rating up quite a bit because I just found he was hilarious. Like he wasn't just bluster. He had some nice little subtle stuff during the scenes too, right? So I really enjoyed his performance.
He was funny. I liked him as well. And there was good chemistry between him and the actress playing Brynhilda.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. But he was very funny. I liked his character.
And of course, we see the quote Thor character in the Return of the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, I missed getting the screen cap of this particular line, but he says, as Smith is hiding under the rug, he says, "I got you under my skin, under the tiger." It's silly.
Yeah. Well, I remember.
Yes, he does.
I don't know why Dr. Smith just didn't say anything, but he was like, but he just started going, meow, meow. Like, what the fuck? Oh, sorry, that slipped. But
Trying to
anyway,
pretend he was the tiger. Like, was that supposed
yeah,
to work?
but then he started to switch to a cat.
Yeah, then it goes meow, which kind of is like really, Smith?
Yeah,
Meow.
that just threw me out of the scene. That
That made me
I think-
laugh.
I think it was just an admittance of defeat.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it was admittance of like Smith is actually more like a kitty. He's meek and mild, that's why meow.
Very possible.
I do like that Thor admires his wife. That's nice.
Yeah.
Or
I
he
like-
does love her. Right? They do have a strong relationship, which I enjoy as well.
I also really like Thor's costume. I thought it was pretty cool. Oh yeah, this is good when he sends Smith down into the darkness.
Niflheim, well, they mentioned it earlier that it was a place where all of their jewels and treasures went.
But
And
also
they
the elves and trolls though too, right, Jill?
Right. The trolls are the ones who want the treasure because the gods have no use for them.
Yeah. Smith's not too happy about going down there with the trolls, though, I'm guessing by the look on his face.
Are they
Well,
sure that
he said he wanted
Are
to
they-
visit because it has treasure.
I like the
Well,
set. Another great set.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No. And were these things actual elves or what were
That's what
they?
I'm saying. Did they actually confirm what they were?
I don't
Because
know
all-
if they confirmed it, but it implied they were elves, I think. Did they not?
Well, I don't know. They all do the just a repeating of each other, or they just repeated everything like Simon says to Dr. Smith.
Yeah, but they didn't seem dangerous. I thought if they were trolls, they might have been more dangerous, but they seemed like they were just imps, like they were just there to kind of, play around with Smith, but not really, they weren't really threatening to him at all. By the way, do we know who these guys are? Because I thought the guy in the blue he looked a bit familiar, like I might have seen him in some other show, maybe another Irwin Allen show, but I couldn't place him, but his face looked a bit familiar.
All right, let's see.
Which guy?
the elf in the blue tights there.
Oh, he did lots of. That may be Felixilla. That might be, and this is CBS, so that may be the same actor who played. Uh,
Oh, was he
Cousin Ian
the
on the Addams Family.
was he the one in Deadly Games where Professor Robinson had to fight him in the ring and he kept disappearing?
I think it was one of them. Yes.
Okay, that's probably where I recognize him from then, because he looked very familiar. His face.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if they give him credit towards the end of the episode or not.
Hmm.
Oh,
But like I said, Felixilla though, one of them I think is going to play Cousin It in the Addams Family.
Oh, oh, that's cool. Of course, you wouldn't recognize him if you just see the movie. He's covered in hair.
No, I'm talking about the TV series. Sorry, I guess I should clarify. He was the
Yeah, that would have
actor in
been.
the TV series, the 65 series that lasted 2 seasons.
Wait, the original cousin it isn't Harry?
No, he's Harry, but
Wait, what? There was a
Cousin
Cousin It in the series and a Cousin It in the movies. They were both Harry, both played by 2 different people, if that clarifies.
Yes, that helps me. Thank you.
Both played by midgets, obviously. And
There's some.
Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead. Well, no, it's just there's just some confusion with the gloves and everything. That's basically most of the rest of the episode.
but then Will
Yes.
finds the third glove here, and now he's going, what? 3 gloves?
And this is where this is the lesson to Dr. Smith. See what your confusion causes, pretty much. That's all it does. And I wanted to mention to everybody, I did finally get around to getting that poll put up in the chat. So if you get a chance, please vote on what you think. What grade would you get this episode or our coverage of this episode? And like I said, I just now got that posted. So if it's not showing up on your screen, try redrawing or refreshing.
all right. So, can we catch up on chats? We just had a bunch come in.
Sure. Sounds like a plan.
All right. So, Nemesis says, "Always great to see you too, Pop. You're most certainly
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you for watching them." And Mr. CDD said, "I could pick up Thor's hammer like totes." And he said, "Frost Rats are from Jotunheim." Or
Jorgenheim.
Jotunheim. Yeah. PvP, do you want to read this one? PvP?
Either PvP.
Sorry, I was just muted there because I was listening.
No
but
problem.
Mr. CCDV says, Yodenheim for all the Americans in the room.
It's Americans. Yodenheim!
I'm not really sure what he's talking about there, but oh well.
And he says, my cat is not meek.
Oh,
And welcome, Lucas Martin.
Hello, Lucas.
And-
Good to see you.
wait.
Welcome.
hello, Lucas.
This looks like a link to something.
Oh, is that a that's
We're getting
is that-
spam botted. We're getting spam botted.
Yeah,
here.
don't click on anything from Twitch. They're all spam. Everything from Twitch.
Yeah.
Hello,
I don't-
spam artists.
I don't know how to.
yeah, that is a strange message too. Actually, come to
Well,
think
then
of it.
I'm gonna stop simulcasting to Twitch.
Yeah,
So
Mr.
yeah,
CC,
just ignore those.
yeah, Mr. CCDV said Austria has a valid religion now. Huh? Yeah, I'd pick something other than Twitch to cast to. They're like maybe try Rumble or something. Rumble, you actually might get a few cents here and
Yeah,
there.
but
from them.
instead you gotta not Twitch to an entire platform because of a few bots. They need to correct their stuff because otherwise
Yeah,
nobody can use them.
yeah, but well, this is
There's other platforms out there I can use.
yeah, this is a different yeah, because it seems like we don't get much viewers from Twitch, but the bots there, and I think maybe Rumble would have better luck. And before I grew my beard, I was called Uncle Fester or Doctor Evil. And Nemesis is waving here,
Good to see you, Nemesis.
and
How's you
says,
doing?
I was wondering what y'all was talking about. Yeah, this is yeah, yeah. We're like if we got a bunch of Twitch here that are just spam bots,
No, that's not good.
and it's all the same message, but in
It
the
is.
same link from different things there,
Same
but it's all the
people.
exact same message.
Right. I wish there was some way I could go and turn off the link during the stream, but I don't think I can.
I think you might be able to click it, but that's something to test. That'd be like a test stream thing to do.
Yeah, because I don't want to go in the nasty in this stream by screwing around with it. So yeah, maybe I'll try it another time. But it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. I'm not going to stream with Twitch anymore. So that's it. That's it with Twitch. And it's a big
Yeah.
platform. Twitch is a big platform. It's a big gaming platform.
Well, the
Well,
weird thing is, Pop. I have known a couple real, good people that did stream gaming and stuff on Twitch over the last 5 years since I, been kind of on YouTube and whatnot. But I know there's some honest, real people on there that are good people that would cause no harm to anybody. But the trouble is, you get all these damn bots coming on, right? And that kind of
yeah,
messes it up for everybody.
yes. Or I could change. I don't know if it would help, but YouTube, I know, or sorry, Stream Elements has a setting to where they either have to already be a subscriber to your channel before they can comment in the comments, or they have to have been on your channel for like at least 5 minutes before they can leave comments, stuff like that. I think
Hmm.
StreamYards has a few of those settings. I don't know. I have to go in and look at
Well,
that stuff.
yeah,
I
sounds
remember I
like something
first
worth
saw.
checking out.
Yeah, I remember first seeing that when I was first setting up my account. Oh well, how are we on the chat, Gorilla?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to really filter on this. I'm gonna apologize if I
Sorry, sir.
accidentally missed something here.
Which one are you on right now?
Screwy
There it
says
is.
that was me waving at Nemesis. Now I have to skip that one because it's bot thing. Mr. CCDV says I can go live now if y'all want to. And we can see if Pop and I can stream at the same time. All right. So then I'm gonna skip these two and go to this one here. Screwy says the age of bot on YouTube is gone. Remember when they had to be swatted down in every stream? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and we back when I had some money there. There's a couple of live streams there. I'd like super chat like $1. Go, why'd you put subscription on? And I'd be or the what HD whatever link there. Go, why'd you put subscriber only? You make it very difficult. I miss you chatting with you. Why don't you come to my site no more?
yeah, no, that's the trolls, right? Exactly.
Well, I'd be the troll on that one because there's one person. Every other message in the chat was literally the link thing, and we kept bottom down, but a different one would link up. He was getting hit hard that night, so we had fun on his next stream there and you could put your super chat as any name you want. So we put so I did that once or twice. Put the super chat name. I'd send a buck there. Go, why don't you visit my site no more? You made it so I can't even tell you where to go. And stuff like that. Oh man, it's so much fun. And they could tell exactly if they really want to. They could tell exactly who sent it. So there was no secret. But anyhow, back to the show.
Oh, speaking of the show, I did something for you, Gorilla. Hold on. Let me see if I can add it. Oh, I don't know how to do it.
Nah.
And
While we're waiting for
well,
Jill, Mr. CCDV says there is a reason for that. All right.
okay, it's in the background if you want to play it, see if it
Background.
works. Yeah.
Inadequate, but it will have to do.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so there you go. So now
I can't download it. Dang it, from there.
no,
Oh,
I guess you can't. I'll send it to you.
yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Thank you, Jill.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I guess Smith is trying to train for a fight he's never gonna do.
We need the slides.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do.
I thought that was pretty funny when the robot was wanting to sword fight with Smith, and Smith was not really too crazy about the idea. It seemed. I'm sure the robot was loving it though.
Oh yeah, the robot loves everything.
No, I'm sure the robot wouldn't mind getting in a real battle with Smith. Teach him a lesson.
Well, I got a question though. How come they could threaten to unalive the characters there, like the villainkin? You know, they could have sword fights. They could even say that he's gonna drink from their skull, but we can't have Mr. Or Dr. Smith be slapped or nothing.
Family hour.
Yeah, but okay, but they can threaten to unalive a person, have sword fights, and threaten to drink from their skull. But we can't just have a simple slap.
When did they threaten to drink from his skull? I'm forgetting that
In
part.
this episode, that's the thing I was going to bring up. The Viking tried to drink from Dr. Smith's skull.
Gee, I don't remember that line. Oh well.
Yeah, I remember that line. He says he's going to drink his meat out, mugging from your skull. Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How
So
did I miss
that's
that?
my exact question there.
Oh gosh. Maybe it's
Maybe
if it's
because-
verbal.
Maybe they thought the kids wouldn't catch it because most kids don't know what meat is. So maybe they thought it was above their heads. I don't know, or made it over the censors' heads.
No, the thing is too, if it's a verbal threat, maybe that's not the same as actually physically, slapping somebody. I'm guessing.
Yeah, like if
I
they
don't
were
know.
to directly say to someone, "I'm going to slap you," that doesn't sound like they would allow that. But if someone says something like, "He slapped him to high heaven," that's something that might be able to get past the censors. Current, maybe past term, I don't know. You never know. I don't know how to predict what the censors did and did not do back then.
The censors weren't always that consistent, though. I'm guessing where they pop. Like some weeks they seem to let more go than other weeks.
I think so. It seemed like, at least it seemed like to me.
Yeah, I would agree. Oh, I love this scene. This scene with the rocks. Now this is another one that bumped my rating because I was laughing pretty good at this scene because I thought this is genius on Smith. For once, Smith actually does something really smart here.
Well, you think the Viking would have been paying more attention the first time?
No, he's been drinking mead all day or something, so he's not really paying attention to anything.
Have all the things they decide to replicate. Yeah, that's a pretty good prank.
I thought it was hilarious, and the poor old Thor here. He's starting to have doubts.
Don't worry, never fear. Dr. Smith is here, and he can psychoanalyze you.
Which
Yeah.
is the last thing you want to happen, but oh well. He's very effective at that.
Yeah, it was actually like Smith was getting some of his training from early in the series back, being a doctor, like doing the psychoanalysis on Thor. which
Right.
I had fun watching that. That was good.
Well, yeah, because when you think about Thor's character, he goes through an arc in this episode. He's all tough and attack. Thor down to a bubbling baby, where even Doctor Smith says, "My child," and then he has to bring him back up and get his bravery back up again and become Thor again to fight the frost giants. So I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of funny and interesting.
Well, that's why I love too. I really like this actor's performance because he wasn't a one note wonder like some of our recent antagonists in episodes. He was actually could play a blustering hero, or he could kind of go into this mode and kind of play like a very like a very sympathetic you know character where he was like he
Uh-huh.
lost all of his initiative and all of his confidence, and I thought the actor did a
Yep.
good job, in this.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree with you. That's what I think. I know most people probably got bored with this scene, thinking, "Oh, it's a bunch of talking heads." But I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it. This is where he's broken him down mentally, pretty much. And
And
of
it's
course,
one of
Smith
the,
is doing this because he doesn't want to get his butt kicked.
but I thought it's amazing. Like for once, Smith actually has things figured out in this scene. Like he's actually in control here, which is very rare for Smith in season two.
Well, I should say he's so good. He's a master manipulator. You let him get into your head, and then you'll regret it. He'll win every time.
That's true. Yeah.
And what does he say? Let's see here. Are we out of chat? I can't tell. I'm not saying anything because I keep thinking there's more chat, but then there's silence, so I don't know what's going on.
Oh no, we haven't been working on the chat there. We
Oh,
only
that's what
got
I was
one.
waiting for. Yeah, that's why
Oh
I've been
no,
confused all night tonight.
no, we just read all the chats there. We're talking about this show here.
Okay, so we don't have any chat, right?
Well, we just got
No, the frost giants are coming.
and I can't even pronounce that. Gira Rod Zaf.
Gerard, Zafra Denir.
Hmm.
It's all tongue twisters, Gorilla. It's okay.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it either. That what's this guy that anybody checks out that channel on YouTube, Midnight's Edge? That's Andre. He's Norse, so he could read all this stuff like it's nothing.
Oh yeah, he's got quite an accent, doesn't he? Actually, come to think of it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's true Norse, so he
Yeah.
could tell you. Yeah, it's of course, my little old channel. He'll never come here, but if he was on here, he could tell us everything about the Norse mythology.
Hmm.
Oh, Mr. CCTV says Vatdoner near. Vatdoner. Oh, and he says Lily should have been a master manipulator. Also, he says, haven't you seen Ashoka? There is no good or evil. And no, I have not watched Ashoka. I haven't even bothered trying. And that's all the chats. Oh, there's our ice giants. Yeah.
Yeah, and Will is the one who's able to give Thor the confidence back that he lost thanks to Smith. But we don't get to see the battle. There's no battle, but we see the reaction to it.
Yeah. They couldn't put down a little bit of money for a battle.
All I want is a little ice giant battle. We
But
used to get the we used to get Don and John defeating Cyclopses.
Yeah. Just a wee little battle, that's all we ask for. Mm.
We know they can do it.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm trying to find Bern Hoffman, the guy that played Thor, but man, online is really bad. Like, I'm not even sure if I'm getting the right stuff here because I know he must have done. Well, it looks like he did a lot of stuff, but I don't see Lost in Space mentioned anywhere, which seems kind of odd, actually.
Yeah, what I was going to say is it's easy for them to play up a big battle sequence or a big sequence because it's off camera. So all they got to do is play a bunch of sound effects. So basically, they could save money because, like with this, the scene with the ice giants, they're saying, "Oh, look, this is exploding, this is happening, that's happening, this is happening." When all they've got to do is have explosions off camera and sounds off camera and not really show anything. And I wish Scotty was here, Scotty R37, because in a nutshell, that was the Superman Lois TV series right there in a nutshell. Everything would happen off screen. She'd either be on the phone talking to somebody and say, "Yeah, Clark's over, you know, handling a volcano, Superman handling a volcano that's erupting," or everything was always off screen. And it was a Superman series. And that's why I really despised it so much. Because they would do the
Does
same
Scotty
thing.
R37 like that show?
He loves that show.
Oh,
And when I tell him why I don't like it, I tell him, I say, because all the action happens off screen. They describe it. And then all we get is Lois and Clark talking about it afterwards and lovey-dovey and kissing. But sorry, get off on
that's a fair
tangent.
point. That is a fair point. I like the latest chat from Mr. CCDV.
Can
You
you
want to read it?
Dr. Smith is Loki. So, yeah,
Huh.
why not? That would have made sense if that happened.
That's why they're always getting in trouble.
All right, that's all our chats here. And
Thank
apparently, Dr. Smith is going to get all these coins and all that, but all that.
Pounds and pounds, apparently, of jewelry and everything, which apparently I guess they gave him to pay him off for his loyalty.
Yeah,
But
but here's
there's no room for it. He's got to take off, and there's no room for all that.
but here's the question: if he's going to take that with him to the Jupiter 2, there, how would they? I thought there was a weight limit. They had to get rid of everything because
That's
of the
right.
weight limit.
Sure, then they can
Yes.
take that and leave Smith.
Yeah.
Maybe that's more beneficial.
True.
I always wondered why
Except-
they didn't leave Smith long ago, but we
The
had to
only
have
problem-
him in this show.
The only
Hey, how
problem
many-
Pop, is that he doesn't get the treasure. That's not what is in the treasure chest when he opens it.
No,
That is true.
the gods actually give him what they think he actually deserves, I'm guessing.
Right, which he deserves.
Well, they think
right.
Brynhilda thinks he loves the dragonflies because he said they
Right.
were delicious and delightful.
Oh, so Smith's lie comes back to haunt him, you're saying then, Jill.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Makes sense. Total sense. And here's the famous line again.
So it's funny because he gets the chunk, but not with the true value of what could have been inside. And now we have Brynhilda and Thor chasing each other throughout the universe forever, apparently. And I've got a train. Sorry, guys, I'm going to mute for a moment.
Oh, I don't mind the
No,
train
I
talk.
actually really think the train sounds are pleasant.
I like a train in the distance. That's kind of nice.
Well, I'll wait and see if it gets too loud.
All
I
right.
like
No, because
our
it's time to play softball.
I like our ending scene here with them playing softball. This is cool.
Okay, fine. No purposeful violence there, but can we at least have Judy accidentally throw the pitch off and smack him in the face with the softball and walk him to the first base there? Come on, can we at least get that?
Judy. Judy's nowhere to be
Or not?
found as usual.
Ju- whatever the one this one is.
Penny.
Penny.
Oh, Penny. Well, that shows how much screen time each one gets now.
Well, Penny
Nowadays.
got at least Penny got some screen time in the episode we're doing. Like Judy got almost nothing.
She got 2 lines, all in the same scene.
Yeah, it was horrible. Poor
Which-
Judy.
There has to be. She must have upset someone that she doesn't get lines no more.
It seems like the writers just didn't find her that interesting a character, is what I'm guessing a lot of the time.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
they-
right. They
well-
think Penny's more interesting. At least Penny can play off of Will.
Yeah,
There might be more reasons behind the scenes that we can only speculate on.
well, my guess is the Penny Will dynamic is quite established in the series by this point, as they have had a lot of interesting interactions since season 1. So that makes sense. And the sad thing is that it seemed like the Judy dynamic with Dawn just kind of got lost in the mix quite a while ago. And I thought that was like they could have developed the romantic interest stuff, right? But they never did. Well, at least not in season
Since
2.
they can't even hold hands on this show. What exactly are they even going to do?
I don't know. They still could have, smiled at each other once
I
in a
guess
while.
flirt, at least, at the very least. That would make sense.
But they don't even
But
get that. It
Even
seems
in the
lately.
very first episodes, you had some semblance of a character. She knew astronomy, she'd been to university, but she wanted to be a musician or something. I don't know if that was actually in the script, but I learned that somewhere.
Yeah, poor Judy. She doesn't even get to like make tea or do laundry anymore. It's like really sad. Oh
Yeah.
well. I do like this
No,
baseball
But
scene.
at least Penny can play softball.
Hey, Penny's good when she gets up to bat. Coming up here, she's a good slugger at the bat at the home plate. By the way, do you guys love the robot as the umpire as much as I do?
It'd
Oh
be
yeah,
only fair.
definitely.
It's great. And then he throws
He is
Smith out of the
objective.
game. And he
Okay.
objects.
I thought he was fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's a good question for like PvP and Jill, since they know which episode I'm talking about. Who would be a fair umpire, Odo or the robot?
Odo, I don't know. I think Odo might be the better umpire because he can understand emotions a little better of the people playing.
Yeah. The only thing though is if Odo had to make a call against Quark, he might not be objective.
No, there's a reason Cisco picked him is because he's the only person that could be objective.
Exactly. Right. And he steadied. He did everything
Okay.
to be the best umpire he could be. And no, he really was an umpire in Deep Space
Oh.
Nine.
Okay. Well, I'll go with that then. By the way, this guy in the next episode, this is like, wow, is he a wizard? He looks like a wizard.
I don't know, but we're summoning more magical people to this planet. And I'm wondering, when are we going to get off this planet?
Oh, we'll
Yes.
get there, Joe. We'll get
Soon
there.
would be nice. So it looks like who we getting? None other than Al Lewis. It's Grandpa Mustard himself.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Interesting how in this episode we're getting a guy who directed several episodes of the Munsters, and now in the very next episode we're getting an actor from the Munsters. So that makes me very happy. I'm a big fan of Al Lewis.
Oh, we
Him
lost
and,
Joe.
welcome back, Joe. Al Lewis and Jonathan Harris. Al Lewis and Jonathan Harris were friends back to the vaudeville days. They used to perform together on stage.
Cool.
So when I bought the Blu-rays of Lost in Space, it had behind-the-scenes interviews, and Al Lewis did some talking about this specific episode, sharing some memories of him with Jonathan Harris. And I'll show that next. Now, of course, it's not one of the best episodes. And yes, it's magic. And expect it to be Lost in Space and to kind of go off the scientific trail. but I enjoy it because it's got Al Lewis. And so I'm fond of that. I always found him very funny and very warming.
Yeah, I always liked Al Lewis in Munsters. I thought Grandpa was an awesome character. Like next to Herman, I think he was my favorite character actually.
Yes, and every reimagining or remake or whatever, Grandpa was an abomination. They did have some remakes of the monsters, and they were horribly, horribly bad. At least the Adams family had some remakes to some success, but the monsters not so much. At least in my opinion, that is. Lee Merriweather is Billy Munster. Oh God, poor Lee Merriweather. So, reminder everybody, I did put a poll in the chat for you to vote if you'd like to. If you feel so inclined, let us know what you think about. Give us a review of this episode or what you think about our review of this episode. And then we'll be going around in a circle here and asking each of the panel members to give us their thoughts on the episode and to share with us a little bit of about their channels and some material and stuff they had to share that we could tune in for. Because I highly recommend you guys tune in to all these amazing people, not just the people that are on the panel, but also in the chat. You'll see in my StreamYards that as you're reading the chats, you'll see it post links to different people's channels. And I highly recommend those out, those channels, everybody, because not everybody can be every week to promote their own channels. So please check them out. There's a lot to enjoy and to explore. In my opinion, that is. All right.
Subscribe.
So, yes, that's one way to put it. Please subscribe. Okay, where are we?
On the chats? Okay. Scurvy here says, the train is cool. Yeah,
That's
those are.
Go ahead.
No, that's a nice little sound there. Nice little background music. It's something different and it has good sound there.
Yeah, and it's not too overwhelming. It's far enough to be in the background without blaring our ears out. So I agree with you there. The train is cool.
All right, and Mr. CCDV says, y'all are fun. Y'all want to keep talking sci-fi and fantasy, history and mythology? That's so long a title, isn't it? No, there's no such thing as a too long of a title. If you actually notice that, I see this with a lot of the bigger channels there. They'll put a really, really long. They'll max out their length of their titles there, just so that they can try to catch the algorithm with some buzz terms there. So there's no such thing as too long of a title.
Exactly. For the world is hollow, and I have touched the sky.
And that's not the longest title anymore.
I've got to
no, I know, but it used to be.
And I've got to admit my naivety. I'm not really familiar a lot with algorithms, so I don't put a lot of stuff in my descriptions. I probably should put more, but oh well. That doesn't seem in my focus.
Yeah, I mean, I do, and I don't really get all that much more, so it doesn't do too much or anything.
Doesn't really help a lot.
Well, it helps a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know if it's worth the effort, but I do it anyhow.
I know LZ knows how to really work that system. I give him credit for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, so and he said, and Mr. CCV votes for the robot. The robot umpire has all the best laser sensors, no mistakes. Yeah, but the robot's going to be biased against Dr. Smith there because Dr. Smith keeps threatening him.
That's true. He better sleep with one eye open.
Thing is, though, you can't threaten the umpire. Come on. I mean, if you threaten the umpire, you're going to get thrown out of the game.
Well, he did get thrown out, and then they kept playing for some reason. But I guess I stopped paying attention.
What on which one?
Now, in the teaser for the next episode.
Oh,
before we saw the wizard.
I guess I wasn't paying too much attention because I figured we'll see it again next week.
Well, I wasn't paying attention. You were paying even less attention.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, we'll figure it out next week. It's not this
And I'm
episode, so
hoping,
we're okay.
and I am hoping to play the teaser for next week's episode if my um, bandwidth allows for it. My internet will hold up. So I know we've had some letdowns in that department. I'm hoping it'll work tonight. But let's go around and get our reviews. I usually go clockwise, so if it's okay, I'm going to start with PvP. PvP. What say you about tonight's episode and your channel?
Well, I actually enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would, because when it first started and we got Brynhilda on her plastic horsey, and she starts going "Whoa," singing opera and stuff, I was like, "Oh no, cringe, 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 cringe." I was expecting something at the level of the previous episode we reviewed, but actually, I started to really like it after a few minutes because it definitely started to move in the right direction. We had the cool mix up with the Smith with the gloves, which kind of got more interesting as the episode went on. Um, I really liked the guy that played Thor. When he came, I thought he made the episode for me because I thought he was really funny, and I just liked his the way he portrayed the character because he was not too blustery, even though he was kinda a bit because he had to be this Nordic warrior figure, of course. But then later on when Smith got into his head and he lost all his confidence, I thought that was pretty funny because the actor played it very well. I thought in those scenes. Um, so yeah, I just thought it was a fun episode. I, I knew it was goofy, and I knew it was silly, and I knew it wasn't much to do with any kind of real science fiction. And of course, there were plot holes like Professor Robinson once again not believing anything Will says when he tells him there's aliens around, or Judy getting like almost no dialogue once again in an episode. So obviously there were some of the usual flaws, but I thought Smith was more interesting because he actually seemed to have a little bit going for him. This one, he wasn't a complete idiot like he's been in some recent episodes. So that was kind of fun for a change. And yeah, I just enjoyed it overall. And I actually, at first, when I first saw Broomhilda, I was ready to give it, in the D to F rating like last week. But as I watched the episode, I got more and more laughs out of it, and I ended up elevating it up to a B minus. So that's my rating, B minus. And as far as my channel goes, I'm putting up music by the British punk band The Damned because I'm going to go see them Friday night at the Commodore Ballroom in Vancouver, which I'm really looking forward to because the videos I've seen that the fans have been uploading the last 2 weeks since they started the North American tour here seem really, really good. The band is in top form. They still look great. They sound great. They're playing a lot of the fan favorite songs on their set list. So I think it'll be a great concert. I haven't moved a concert into my top 10 in probably 20 years, but I got a hunch that this concert might actually get there. So that's cool. And yeah, I motor mouth too long. So anyway, that's it for my review. B minus.
Thank you for being here and helping us out with the review, PvP. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Pop. I'm always honored to be a part of the panel here.
Excellent. And my good friend Antiderivative Jill, what say you about this episode and your channel?
For sure. Okay, so actually, I kind of feel like it kind of is almost on the same level of last week. So my score is
Shut
about
up!
the same. Oh, I don't remember what I said last week, but this week I give it a D plus. Might be a little higher than last week's. This is still we're still in the very goofy range, but I'm glad that they used real um, mythology from our past. That's fun. But last week was bad, but at least we had a spaceship. We had the coffee pot spaceship, and they actually cared about the dangers of encountering the vacuum of space. And I actually feel a little silly now. I officially retract all of my previous complaints about starships on this show that functioned while having portions of it exposed to the vacuum of space. Remember when we would say, "Oh no, that spaceship, it just has force fields." But now we're just teleporting on fake horses with wings. So at least there was a transport to visit another planet, so we weren't on the planet that we were normally on, I suppose. Although they never said, I guess they called it Asgard, so I guess that was the planet name. But we didn't get to see much of it outside of Thor's home and some giants stepping outside. Although I am curious how they did the giant thing. That's always fun. If we're going to go full fantasy like this, I want to be drawn into it. I want to feel like it's reality, but it just feels like a couple of normal middle-aged aliens playing gods and going through a rough time, I guess. And I suppose I do like the character of Thor and how he has some insecurities thanks to Dr. Smith and overcomes it pretty quickly. It's a cute episode, but I am also bothered the way PvP is that the parents still don't believe Will. Now they have no excuse to not believe him ever again, and we'll never encounter this problem on any other episode of Lost in Space. And I say that because I haven't seen the other episodes, so I'm sure I'm wrong.
Uh-huh.
And now at least they miraculously have a replicator, which they can use for the rest of the series also, right?
True.
I hope so.
The positives about this episode is it makes me want to learn more about the real Norse mythology and that they have a replicator. So if this gets some kids to want to look up Thor in the library, the whole thing's worth it.
Yeah. And how about your channel, Jill? What would you like to share about your channel?
I'm continuing Star Trek Continues tomorrow. It's the last episode of Star Trek Continues, To Boldly Go. I'm going to review that and possibly have some special guests. After this, I'm going to finally start some prep work on that and watch the episode. So that's going to be a special show, and it'll be for Claude because he's going through something right now. So I hope he's able to listen to it later when he feels better. And so yeah, so I do hope he gets better soon. Get better soon, Claude. And I will
Yep.
listen.
So
Yeah.
send out the wishes from the Pop Culture Curator channel. Tell him that he has our wishes. Everything turns out for the best, hopefully.
Yes, I will. I will send those along.
Yeah, if you'd like to pass that on, the well wishes from me too, Jill, because my trip coming up, I'm very, very busy, so I might not have a chance to pop on the stream tonight. But if you want to just say hi and give him a well wish from me, I would sincerely appreciate it.
Absolutely, I will.
Yeah, same
you,
here,
Jill.
Jill. Even though I barely get a chance to get over there.
Yeah,
and
I do appreciate that. Well, he can use all the love and support that he's getting, so he'll make it through. Thank you.
All right. My turn.
Okay, your turn.
All right. Well, one thing I've noticed about this, and this is one thing that older shows I tend to dislike more about older shows than the newer shows, because it is that you get the exact. It seems like we have the exact same tropes throughout the entire show, and I think they're trying to go for comedic relief out of here, where we have human-looking aliens. They're supposed to be aliens, but they're human-looking with human costumes. It just seems like they try to go for a different time period each time. Here, the kid says something. Oh, you just be silly with your wild stories. I've seen this on multiple shows. But then it turns out to be true.
Right.
Then it's always Dr. Smith causing the issue. Then Will's the one that has to discover it there. Then the parents have to Uh, no, but I'm not gonna fault this episode for that because it's a trope throughout the. It's kind of like a fault with the entire series there. But you had the Norse looking gods there, and they go yoo throughout the whole episode. So there, we didn't get the giant fight. I miss the space lasers we had in the first season. It seems like they've forgotten about them there. We had that bloop looking thing that didn't even do anything there. They never explained the imps there. Like it was entertaining in itself to kind of watch, but yet it leaves you scratching your head there. They're going, what's the point of it? It's like, okay, take out that bloop looking thing and give me a couple shots out of the space laser. Give me the big fight with the frost giants. I'm gonna go with C- on this one here. I just kind of wish they kind of change up the tropes a little bit. And that replicator, it came out of nowhere, and I doubt we'll see it again. But yeah, anyhow, I'm gonna give it a C minus.
Well, it's
Not
totally,
the most
that's
entertaining
fine.
episode.
No, thank you for helping us out and giving us that review, Gorilla. Now, tell us about your channel.
Um, let's see. This week's gonna be kind of like a lacking of streams here, but um, Wednesday we'll have 2 episodes of Justified. We're starting season 6 there of that. Jill, you might want to join us on Thursday. We're having a final cringe stock before we're gonna switch. We're gonna watch a mini series here to give us a break from the cringe stock there. But Jill, you might want to join us because we're doing a Gene Roddenberry production for
So I
cringe
do
stock.
understand that you're going to watch Pretty Maids all in a row, and I'm going to try to be there for that and try to bring some material for it.
Someone told you what we were watching. Okay, I was gonna try to. I didn't know. I wanted to kind of save the surprise there, but
Well, my question,
No,
my question
you
for
were there.
Gorilla, are you gonna watch it ahead of time and then review it, or are you gonna review it live, or how you doing?
watch party.
Okay, because
Oh, maybe you weren't there.
people are gonna be talking through most of it. You probably won't catch a lot of what the movie's about.
Well,
I can.
you're going to watch it beforehand, right?
No, he said no.
I won't have time to
Oh.
watch it beforehand, but I can focus on two. I need to focus on multiple things at a time, anyhow. So.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it beforehand. I'll tell you what's going on.
All right. And the only reason I picked this is because a couple of people were so totally offended by this and they're raising up all kinds of stuff. So that's the only reason I picked it. And there's gonna be no Waltons this week because I believe I'm taking my kid to a movie that night, and I'm not. I don't
Nice.
want to sit there and rush the review just so we can get to the drive-in. We're actually going to the drive-in.
To see what?
We're gonna be watching Inside Out 2 for the drive-in for Cub Scouts.
Well, I bet you're gonna have a great time, and the weather-wise, it should be a nice night for it.
Maybe I know they're talking. They're talking very, very strong supercells coming through on Wednesday, but hopefully they'll go to the north of us.
Oh, I love the drive-in. I'm jealous. I wish I could be there.
Yeah, we have a drive-in. It's 30 miles from, or not 30 miles. Yeah, about 30 miles from me. And depending on who's driving, it's about a 15, 20-minute drive.
Our tradition when I was a kid was my mom would make up a big, huge batch of fried chicken, and then we'd take that with us. We would get our sodas, whatever, popcorn from the concession stand. But for as far as main eating, fried chicken, we always take fried chicken.
Oh man, I tell you, it's gonna be a lot easier sneaking food in than in a regular movie theater. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no comparison. And you can take anything in there. It's not what can you sneak in, but you can sneak anything into a drive-in.
Yeah. Then
Even a date.
Yeah. Then on Saturday, there's gonna be no DS9 on Saturday because I have a family get together and quite frankly, depending if my sister takes my kids home for me, I might be a little drunk that night. So.
Oh, well, you want to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I don't know, but if I can, it all depends if my sister volunteers to take the kids home. But but then Sunday, I should be back Sunday for Father's Day. There, We will have a poll in the chat there. Either that I might pick a father's movie even.
Wait,
For
wasn't Father's Day last weekend? Am I losing track? What's going
no,
on?
no, but it's this weekend.
No, it's coming up.
Next
Oh,
weekend.
okay. Thank you for clarifying that for me.
And the only reason I know that is because we got it's our Summerfest falls on Father's Day weekend every year. So
Okay, good.
and then maybe we'll have a bunch of shorts there. They're coming out here soon.
Why not?
Yeah, I know. I know. I gotta get. I'm gonna have a couple beer shorts coming out here this week.
Very
Different,
cool.
different
Some
beers.
more weird flavors.
Well, there's one in there I've been tempted to try, but I don't think I'm gonna like it. It's called Furious IPA.
Spell it.
No, Furious, like you're mad.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if that's cinnamon. I want to try to figure out what flavor that would be.
I'm guessing that's what it'll be.
I like cinnamon, but I don't know. That's odd. You must let us know, sir.
Yeah. All right. Your turn, Pop.
And thank you for that review, and thank you for helping me out tonight with
Yeah.
the chat gorilla. I'm going to give the episode. I'll give it a B minus. I had a good time with it for a lot of the reasons you guys said. It was fun. The casting was great for Brynhilda and Thor. It was nice. They had chemistry. I think I'd have to say, comparatively now, looking through adult eyes, I enjoyed it more now than when I was younger. I think I remember being a little more bored back then. But I think what it was is basically it was a story of literally a power couple going through a midlife crisis, because that's basically what Thor and Brunhilde were doing. And they needed that little boost in their romance, and Dr. Smith happened to come along right at the right time. And I had fun with the props. I liked the hammer. It was nice to see that. And as far as Norse, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I forgot about the hammer. I'm up. I'm up. I'm gonna give a slight uptick for the hammer. Never. Sorry.
So that took for the hammer. No, that's fine. But I wouldn't expect. I was going to say I love Norse mythology, but I wouldn't expect Lost in Space to teach me a very thorough lesson about Norse mythology. So I would take it very loosely, enough to pique your interest, like we said. But then, if you do enjoy Norse mythology, there are a great many sources out there to learn more about it. And like I said, the Northman movie from 2022. Great cast, great director, great set. It won Academy Awards. It was a success. It was a good movie. I mean, all these positive things. It's just it wasn't my thing because I didn't feel like looking at Nicole Kidman under a mile of makeup. But that is my opinion. And my channel, let's see, tomorrow, if everything works out right, hopefully, I will be on Jill's stream. I'm hoping I'm going to be there because I feel bad I missed the last one. And then Tuesday, tomorrow night, we have our horror sci-fi stream where we're going to be covering the movie Dog Soldiers. I wanted to thank my good friend Nemesis Vita for suggesting it. And I did put a poll up in the chat for people to vote. And that seems to be the one they want. So that's terrific. So tomorrow night it'll be Dog Soldiers at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And then Wednesday, we will be back with 2 more episodes of the 3rd season of Gilligan's Island with my good buddy Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Next Saturday, if everything works out as well, I'll be back with another episode of Rumblings from the Lab, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. I believe that's it. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. And if I am, forgive me. Oh, well, that's what happens when you get old and decrepit.
All right. So should we finish out the chat and then end this?
Go ahead and start reading the chats. I'm going to close the poll and share the poll results with everyone.
Alrighty. Mr. CCDV says weekends will be impossible to stream on for several months. This is the fastest available here. Sorry, brother.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know. I was just
yeah.
telling them about that the other night. In fact, exactly that topic.
All right. And Jill, you want to read this?
Mr. CCDV says so. Antiderivative Jill. The comment was taken off the screen, but he asked
Oh,
if I could join him tonight. I'm so sorry. I've got to. I've got to prepare to boldly go. For my last Star Trek Continue stream, I've got to make slides and notes, and I also need to go over to the Clobber Times channel to say hello if they're still going. To say hi and see how things are going with Raquel and Mark. But thank you so much for the invite, Mr. CCDV. I prefer a little more notice when I'm invited to collaborate on other channels. So if you want to set a time and date next week, I can help you run a show if you like. But I need more notice than right away. Usually, sometimes I'll jump into a party impromptu, but it'll be of my choice. And whenever I have the time.
yeah. And Mr. CCDV says, Girls read the thoughts. I think you're slurring more than I am. Do you want to continue streaming with the drunk tonight? I would love to, Mr. CCDV, but it's 11:30 and I have to be to work by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning there. So I'm gonna go shower and I'm gonna be headed to bed right after the stream.
Well,
Sorry.
thank you for helping me out tonight, Gorilla.
Yeah, not a problem. I haven't been to a drive-in since 2012. So much fun. Yeah, it'll be my first experience. So
Your
I
first
didn't even notice.
Yeah, you need to, Gorilla, please promise me you'll do a review of the movie and the drive-in experience itself. Let us know what you guys think.
okay. Oh, I enjoyed the other one was the first Inside Out. So hopefully this one here will be just as good.
Okay, but I want to
It's a
review. I want to review what you think about the drive-in.
alrighty.
Yeah, drive-ins are awesome, Gorilla. Wow, that's so cool. Your first drive-in. That's really cool.
Yeah. All right. So Mr. CCD says my ex-girlfriend is taking me out this weekend. Egads.
Egads.
And he hopes his kids will call him. Yeah. And welcome, Basil Battle Draggy. He says, hi guys, I know it's late in the stream. I just tuned in.
Hey, old
Uh,
Basil, good to see you, and we missed you. Glad you could make it tonight.
yeah. He wanted to
Hello,
say
Basil.
hello.
Hi, Basil.
Yeah. And welcome to the man of many words, Cody Guy. Welcome.
Hi,
Hey,
Cody.
old Cody guy. Hello.
Yeah, and Mr.
Hi.
CDD says Avengers are the same way. All right, and Basil says hello, Gorilla. Alrighty, then
And
thanks,
wanted to
Pop.
say hello. And wanted to say hello, says Basil. So likewise, right back at you, Basil. Okay, good. Yeah, you're right. I think we're all caught up. Okay, so the poll, as far as the poll is concerned, looks like we got 4 votes. Thank you, everybody, for voting and participating. What grade would you give the Space Vikings? And it looks like B plus to B minus with a 50%, A plus to A minus with 25%, D plus to F minus 25%, and C plus to C minus with the 0%. And if I remember right, I give it a B. I think so. Mine would fall somewhere there in the 50%. So I'm happy about that. And it looks like once again we got a wide variety of opinions, which is definitely even more than what we could possibly ask for. So thank you everybody for that. I wanted to thank all my panelists tonight for your help, for your participation. Jill, I want to thank you for them once again, the magnificent slides. And Gorilla, thank you for helping me with the chat, considering my voice is barely there.
Yeah, not a problem.
And PvP for being here and participating your time.
Oh, glad to be here, Pop. Glad to be here.
Now I'm going to see, hopefully, if I have the bandwidth enough just to show the clip for next week, just the trailer, just the trailer. I'm begging this thing. It probably won't happen, but we'll find out. Let's see.
Oh, I hope so.
And next week's episode is. I have to remember the name of next week's episode. Shame on me.
Next week's episode is Rocket to Earth. Rocket to Earth.
Oh boy, I love the title to that. That's exciting.
Is that even? Oh, don't tell me I got the wrong one. Hold on, give me just a second, guys.
Take your time, Pop. And he says, "Good night, Pop," and he goes, "The tip counts." All right.
Well, see, it'll be interesting because Don Richardson seems to be an inconsistent writer. One week his episode's great, and next week it's terrible. So we'll figure it out. We'll see what happens.
Yes, you're right. There it is. Okay, I was just overlooking it. All right, here we go. Boy, I'm slow tonight. I'm so sorry, everybody.
No, you're fine.
Okay, and hopefully, like I said, with our bandwidth, the way it does or doesn't work, I'm hoping it'll work tonight. So, like I said, I've got my fingers crossed. And here we are, next week's preview, Rocket to Earth with the great Al Lewis.
A spaceship!
You intend stealing Mr. Zato's ship.
Have you ever seen anything more beautiful?
Look, he's heading straight for Earth. You must make him return.
Identify yourself or we will be forced to attack.
Earth must have been lost a little bit.